Hello! Let's see if we can get rid of that. Today will be as unprofessional as any other day, I should imagine. I haven't even got the camera straight. Look at that. Look, see? Fucking idiot. Never mind. Anyway, hope you're all well. Another week done. Stuff in the papers and in the newspapers. Fuck, I sound old, don't I? How many of you remember seeing in the morning when you used to go down the corner shop before school to get your sweets, all the different paper stands, and people used to be queuing up there to get their papers? A bit more brainwashing, please. I remember that. Actually, my brother had a paper, I'm thinking about it, and I used to go out and give him a hand and get fuck all. That's pretty dumb. Anyway, there you go. So, what do we got? We've got 436 people already. Excellent. Happy. Well done. And I was obviously looking in the chat as this was going on, and they're from all over the fucking place. We've got New York. We've got all over Europe, Canada, the lot. My fucking days. Unbelievable. So when you're saying hello, don't dox yourself too hard, all right? Just saying, but there it is. So what's really got to me this week the most, because there's been a lot, the Sam Melia thing, actually, if I'm honest. First point of contact. So I've put it up here, and I'm going to read what it said. I accept. Here we go. Sam Melia leads Pudsley white supremacists with Nazi tendencies jailed after sticker campaign. Now, I'm going to give you a comparison in a minute after we read through this. Fuck me. All this subscribe and all the rest of it. Let me see if you can. Oh, that was a good idea, Si. What have you just done there? Let's go back to there, shall we? I'm going to see if I can share this so that you can see it as well. Not just that, my reading's a bit shit. So we stop screen and then we present. It would be much better if somebody was doing this for me who actually knew what they were doing. Right. All right, there you go. So I'll come over this side a second. A racist far-right activist from Leeds with Nazi tendencies has been jailed. I suppose you'll absolutely, and Hope Not Hate, is it Hope Not Hate? I think it is Hope Not Hate. I've done a bit on this, and they're absolutely fucking coming in their pants about it. Sam Melia was locked up for 2 years by a judge at Leeds Crown Court who said anti-Semitism has been used before to tear at the heart of Western democracy and must not be allowed to do so again. The 34-year-old, we've got a call already. I'll finish this off in a second because, no, I won't. Obviously thought about that. The 34-year-old was found guilty earlier on this year of stirring up racial hatred by running an online library of downloadable white supremacist stickers. Not white supremacists at all. You're full of shit. When you point out facts and figures and they go against your narrative, that's far right, is it? No, it's not. Anyway, I mean, admittedly, this bloke's made some mistakes, and he'd probably be the first to admit it himself. I mean, some of the memorabilia he had in his garage that his mate sent him as a joke might not have been the best stuff to hold on to. I get that, all right? But the reason I'm going to say this in a minute, because I'm going to give you an example. Melia was the head of the 100 Handers, an anonymous group responsible for a spate of anti-immigration stickers. You can be anti-immigration. It's not law that you have to fucking like it, okay? An incident between 2019 and 2021, Luke Crown's Court heard. Fuck me. Got enough adverts in between this shit. On Friday, Judge Tom Bayliss, KC, told Melia, I am quite sure that your mindset, this is it, they believe that they're in their mind, right, and can now prosecute them by what they think they're thinking. If you remember, Dankula was done by this. We can't prove anything, but we think. So get fucked. Anyway, I'm quite sure that your mindset is that of a racist and a white supremacist. He is allowed to think as a racist and a white supremacist. That's not a criminal thing. It's when you go out and actually commit criminality or you tell others to do so. But as in this court had already said that no one particular action that he did was of any great consequence at all. You hold Nazi sympathies and you are an anti-Semite. Right? How is it you came to this conclusion? What, because some of the memorabilia? I know lefties, right, that collect Nazi uniforms because they believe it's got a historical value and will probably be worth something in the future. There's as far left as you can get. One of them in particular used to be my mate, and because he went so far left, he actually phoned the papers on me when I was helping Tommy, all right? And this bloke collected uniforms, British, Nazi, Italian, the whole fucking thing. Is he a Nazi? Fuck off, innit? It's all shit. He had this. Whilst your activity ceased in 2021, recent events in the United Kingdom demonstrate, right, so other people are doing stuff. That's Muslims, by the way. You failed to fucking point that one out nicely, didn't you? So Muslims are wandering around the place and saying that we don't like fucking Israel and we don't like Jews. But we'll blame it on the white supremacists because he's the only cunt we can kick around. I mean, have you seen the latest speech by George Galloway? He's not too impressed by Israel, and he's telling his local constituency not to have anything to do with Israel, not to buy anything from Israel, and telling people from Israel not to come to that part of the country. They're not welcome. But this guy who put a few fucking stickers up, oh God, give him 2 years. Bear with. He added, whilst your activities are demonstrated for the first time since Kingdom, that there is, for the first time, since the 1930s, a real risk of gross potentially violent anti-Semitism becoming normalized on our streets. Basically, it just goes on to say that some of the stuff in his garage led them to the belief that he was anti-Semitic and he didn't like the Jews, and he was a Nazi, and he believed that he fantasized about the Nazis when there is no real proof. So if you were an avid reader, right, just asking for a friend here, but if you're an avid reader and you've got many different books, so you've got Che Guevara, a thing about him, or Che Guevara, I should say, and you've got stuff, say, for instance, about Mussolini, you had stuff about Pol Pot, you had stuff about all that lot, and you also have Mein Kampf. That immediately makes you an anti-Semite, does it? The interesting thing is, right, what they're doing at the moment to Sam Melia is actually going to bring about anti-Semitism. But hear me out. Because it seems that the system always manages to get it wrong drastically, fucks up biblically. I know what we'll do. We'll stop anti-Semitism by doing things that will make people think that these people are protected more than anybody else. Here's the reason. The moment you say anything about Israel, or the moment that you question anything, you're an anti-Semite. Now, if you protected the British people, right, as much as you protect, say, for instance, Jewish people in Israel, right, I don't think that they could have any point or any reason to believe that you know, some people are more protected than others. But I have here a story that I put up, and it's from Twitter, right? And if I can get this fucking computer to keep up, just a bit of cunt, right? Sorry about this. It says here, and it's got a picture of a really, really oversized Muslim guy in traditional Muslim cloth, you know, one of those almost right down to his ankles kind of thing, right? And he's got the beard and everything, and he looks like a stereotypical person of over from the Middle East, right? I just say that. And it says here, Islamic teacher who sexually abused girl 11 as he taught her the Quran, spared jail because his wife doesn't speak English. Stickers, wife pregnant, okay. Oh, no, wife just given birth, okay. Already got kids, working, got a job, not a problem. 2 years. Nonsense fuck out of kids, gets spared jail because he's Muslim and his wife don't speak a word of English. This is what I'm talking about. There is a gross difference. When you basically say that these cunts can get off because of reasons, but that one we can throw everything out because he's white. That's the sum of it. He's white. And he dared go after anybody else, right? And he dared question anything historically. For me, it just, what you're actually going to do is bring about anti-Semitism and anti-Islam. Because when you see everybody else protected more than us, what you're going to get is people going, what's this all about? And then they're going to get shitty. Hello.
Si, how you doing?
Living the dream. Is that God help the UK?
Fucking someone's got to help us.
Yeah. What do you know, mate?
Do you know what? I've been watching you over the past few months, and I remember back in the day, a few years ago, I used to always make a point of getting in there first, but I used to rein it in. I rein it in because I didn't want to get your channel banned because you're getting kicked all the time. But listen, now I'm thinking to myself, the people out there all screaming, yeah, we want our country back. We don't need our country back. We have to have our country back. Where else are we going to go?
Well, I was speaking to somebody else today. She said, oh, so many people are going to just start leaving the country. I said, well, fuck them. Tell them to fuck off then. She went, huh? And this is white people. I said, if you're not prepared to stand up and fight for your country, you're no good to me. Fuck off. Get out of the way. That's
exactly
where I stand, right?
Yes.
We don't want our country back. It's our country. We're not giving it, right? Now, at some point,
we need our country back.
At some point, it's going to go badly wrong. Nobody wants it, and it's a fact. It's going to happen, right? But what you're seeing at the moment is the decline of the fabric of society. People taking a shit outdoors. People just battering the fuck out white people for being white people. You're seeing people like this fucking Islamic preacher getting away with literally being a nonce, right? Whilst a bloke who put stickers up, you know, just hang on a second. I've been messaged at the same time by Chum. Fucking stop.
Yeah, 2 years, wasn't it? He got 2 years for it.
Yeah, now he might well get out in a very short space of time because he's already been told that he doesn't pose a threat to people. So exactly why, when we've got overcrowding, why, when all he's done is stuck some stickers up, you give him 2 years, and yet you give a person who's a very clear threat to any child that he gets near no prison? What it says is there's many tiers to this, that we're so far down the bottom of the pecking order that we just get fucked in the ass dry, like fucking Field Marshal Fisting would have done, right? And yet, right, other people walk between the raindrops. What's that about? But
hold on, sorry. You said this guy's only got 2 years to get out, but look at what happened to Bunny down in Bristol.
what is that? The guy that did the bacon on the gates?
Yeah. And while he's in Allfield, mysteriously died, and nothing. There's been no investigation or anything. He died in there.
I spoke to his family about that. He didn't even stick it on the door handles of the place. He put it on the gates. Now, I've got to say that was weapons grade stupid of him, right? Not speaking ill of the dead, but he probably fucking, if he could come back alive now, would probably look at it and go, probably not a good idea. But
didn't deserve to die, though. Didn't deserve to die.
Fucking right. What I'm saying is, if say, for instance, because people don't realize that the Muslims have controlled the prison since, I don't know, 2000, and say, for instance, 2010, I'd have thought. But when I was in the 2000, well, it was 1999, actually. I got out just before 2000.
And me. It was all right. We were lads.
Well, there was a couple of Muslims on the wing that Ramadan had come, and I was like, why have they been let out at night? He said, well, they don't eat during the day. I said, why? He said, it's Ramadan. Oh, whatever. Didn't know fuck all about it, really. But now it's a totally different thing. They run the place, and if you went in there, you have to either watch what you're doing. I mean, say, for instance, I go in there. Unless I was put on, say, for instance, a rule, right? Which means I end up, it used to be 43 when I was in there, but you don't really want to get put on a rule.
45 now, keep me up to date.
No, it was rule 43 then. It's rule 45 now, I think, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, it's 43 back in the day, now it's 45.
But if you get put on a rule, you end up fucking camped out with the nonsense. And I think I'd rather take my chances with the fucking Muslims, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what, there was a funny story, right? There was this fucking Chinese bloke, small bloke, didn't say fuck all, right? And we were like, he was wandering around in the yard on his Jack Jones. I said to the screw, because I was quite friendly with the screws, because I was in there for something that they could associate with, which was drink driving, right? Yeah, nobody likes a drink driver, and drink drivers are cunts, but they could, because they probably drunk drive themselves, right? So I know I was getting fit and all the rest of it, but I said to him, what is he in there? Is that to protect him from us? He went, no, the other way around. I went, what? He said, yeah. He said he was brought over from, I don't know where it was, China or wherever, right? I think by the Triads or whatever. So wherever that's from, right? And he was working with them in this kitchen. They kept taunting him, saying they're going to send him back, which would have been certain death for some reason. I don't know. One day they went too far. Right. He hacked them all up, right? Then went out and took out 15 coppers before they finally put him down. So he said, he's in there to protect you from him. I was like, oh, that's nice. A fucking tiny dot of a bloke, but just went postal and lost his shit. But he was in there with all the wrong ones. But they were let out at a slightly different time. But when you think about pedophiles in prison, they look exactly as you'd imagine, and they're proud about what they've done. They sit together and they talk about what they've done and how to get around stuff. So when they come out, they're a worse pedophile than when they went in. But there it is. Yeah.
What Nick? I'm sure you told me. What Nick was you in?
Gloucester.
Oh, I was in Allfield.
Yeah,
I was in there for Section 18 GBH because some silly little bitch I used to know started on my missus's mates in a nightclub.
Probably best not to go into too much detail there. Do you know what I mean? Because of
no, I ain't fucking no bacon or anything. And basically, when we got outside, she attacked my missus. My missus done her, but then her boyfriend jumped in, and I told him to get off. He wouldn't get off. I pulled him off. He went to go for me, so I banged him one. That's it. Section 18. But anyway, we'll move on from that. When I was in Allfield's a good little nick back then, but we didn't have this kind of like where you're going to get rushed in your cell if you didn't convert. The only thing we saw about the Muslims in there is when they had their Ramadan and the amount of food and the privileges they got. It was, and I think that might be a factor for people converting, because if you're a Muslim in there, you just don't get touched, you know. And that was, I'm talking 2000, year 2000.
I have to,
and it was different times then.
I have to accept the fact that at some point they're going to fit me up and I'm going to go to prison. And when I get in there, I'm in a lot of trouble. I have to accept that. But I wouldn't like to go to prison now. I'm in a lot of trouble anyway, because at some point, doesn't matter if I stopped now, They'll probably by the future they'll have changed the laws if they carry on winning the way they are, and they'll change the laws and they'll go back and historically prosecute people, right? So either way, there's no point in stopping. Not that I would anyway, but I have to accept the fact that in the future I will probably be locked up, put in prison, and God knows what. But it is what it is. You know, you just got to accept the fact that.
Send me a VO, but I ain't plugging nothing.
You're all right, love, mate. I wouldn't want anything to come out of your hoop. Know what I mean?
Things have changed big time, and that's what they do now. They're intimidating there. They find the big guys that are a little bit like the hunking, like 7-foot guys are a bit, and then they, if you don't convert, you're going to get kicked on. It's very clever how it's done. Very clever how it's done. Very tactical and warlike.
Yeah, well, it doesn't surprise
anyway,
me, but that's what it is.
Let's move on from that one. So it's just, I mean, look at Sunak last night in his speech. What a fucking arse-looking prick. He still didn't really address it. But I did notice today, Mayor Toosey and a few other people up in London, and it has changed a little bit. There was less of a protest today, as in so many of their numbers, and the police did move in Trafalgar Square and do a few arrests.
No worries. I'm just looking at something that somebody sent me, but that was March the 2nd. Hang on. Well, we are March the 2nd now. Fuck me. I thought it was March the 2nd last year. Fucking hell. Yeah.
Too many factors. I said to you on the bottleneck earlier on, you had too many factors. You didn't reply.
One. This is the first. I haven't been out of drink all day. Shocking, I know.
You was on the bottleneck earlier on, weren't you?
Bottleneck?
Yeah, the bottleneck. I was pissing myself. He's funny geezer, isn't he? There you go.
Oh, right. Bootneck, you fucking... Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I can't even get my own kids' names right.
Bottleneck, yes. Fucking...
You know what I'm like, boy. Come on, give me some credit.
So, yeah, I popped in to say hello to him. He's do you know, he's getting some good numbers. He's so
funny today. If he don't get a strike tomorrow, I hope he doesn't, but he was touching it to the line. But you can't argue with what he says.
Well, he's a bit easier over there because he's in America, so he's got the freedom of speech. We have freedom of expression, which means we don't have freedom of speech. So
yeah, but still YouTube, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but YouTube has different rules in different countries.
Really?
Yeah, of course it does.
Well, you've educated me tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm over in America, right, and I start saying stuff, because I'm actually based there, they have to treat you within the rules of, because you got freedom of speech. I mean, he's not going out calling for the death of anything, is he? Right? He's not calling out for this, that, and the other. What he's simply saying is the facts. Where in America, you get freedom of speech. Every country is more geared up to that country. You know, when you sign up, you say where you are, where your address is, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And they treat you with the rules that are applicable to that country. So, communist England, different rules. America, allegedly, because you're 1 and 2, you've got the right. But anyway, there it is.
So going back to Richie Sunak, did you watch his full speech yesterday?
I've got to be honest, I didn't.
Mate, you got to watch it.
I watched Andrew, what's his name? The guy that does a great impression of the police.
Oh, yeah. PC, Thames Valley, I'm going to sag your
PC, Chief Inspector, Reverend fucking piss pot, fucking Sunhill, fucking...
That's the one. He's funny.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so watching him, you can actually pick up quite quickly. And I was thinking to myself, he scripts, obviously, right? Have you noticed he hasn't done a live stream? I was looking to see if he did live stream, so to see whether he would do one and come on, but he doesn't do live streams, so that's it. But the thing is, he gets a better video across because he scripts and he gets it all in there. And I don't manage to script, so yeah, I don't get it all in there.
We just speak from the cuff, off the cuff, in it. It's I mean, more realistic, but he's dancing around being struck off. He knows how far he can push it, and that's why he scripts it.
Yeah. Oh well. If I lose this channel, I'll just start again. It's not a problem. I mean, yeah, it's lovely to have 108,000, but it's about what you're saying, and the subs will find you sooner or later anyway. So, I mean, look at this channel. It's got nearly 12,000 on it, and I've got 1,200 people watching. So
no, hang on, man. You're over 100,000 now.
No, I'm live streaming on my smaller channel. I can't live stream on my main channel. They told me I can't live stream. So, and they haven't given me how long. They've just simply said, well, we've taken it away from you because the live stream you had taken down. I said, it's not a live stream, it's a video. I said, well, can you tell me when? They went, no, we can't. In other words, it's political. So I was like, yeah, fine. And then they sent me a link saying that your strike actually went from whatever and it ends on April the 1st, which is just basically saying it's April Fool's Day. So fuck you. So it's fine.
And then apparently tomorrow's Ramadan, is it? But I thought it was the 9th. Because the Formula One, my mate does all the gearboxes for every Formula One car you see out there. He designs in Thatcham the gearboxes. But they had to do the Formula One trials today on Saturday because it's Ramadan tomorrow. Now, then you got the other thing.
How many fucking Muslim race fucking leaders do you? I mean, I don't get it. Who gives a fuck?
Right,
why are we pandering to these people?
Exactly. Do you know what? This is what I love about you now, sorry, right? In a non-sexual way, just in a bro way, is that now I don't want to get you fluffed up. Like I get police abusing powers, he gets fluffed up very easily. Right, so he's on over 50,000 K now as well. Well done, Pat. Right, so we got this thing with Israel where they're going to do the hostage, but they're not going to do it. They're going to have a ceasefire for the Ramadan. Now, hang on a minute. Right, so let me just bring out some
hang on, stop. They're having a ceasefire for Ramadan.
Yes.
Right. Just call me old-fashioned. Hang on. Bear with, right? One side of them ain't fucking Muslim. So while we're killing each other, all right, I'll respect your religious beliefs and I won't bomb you during Ramadan. That's terribly kind of the Jews if they're going to do that. But I've got a feeling that they might not agree to the fucking ceasefire. Just calling it.
Well, I wouldn't agree to a ceasefire for starters right now. Nobody, listen, have a look. I spoke to Pap about it the other night and he promised me he wouldn't bring it up because no one else has noticed it. Now, they're saying that on October 7th, that it is done on purpose, that the Israeli government let the 3,000 Islamic Hamas come in and attack their people.
Steady where you go here. Shut up before you go too far.
All right, go on.
You know what you're doing, right? Use your head.
Yeah.
Right. The reason Pap didn't want you to say it is because there is no evidence, all right? Although most people are thinking it, right? So the way you would go about this is allegedly, right? Allegedly with the biggest spy network in the world with more cameras than on that border than you get in London. How is it that they wouldn't have known or couldn't have seen? Just saying, asking for a friend. Now, that's the way you go about it.
Sorry. I think I've misinterpreted what I was trying to say. Is that say on Christmas Day, right, in England, where all the police and the emergency workers and the army and everything are on a skeleton crew. The day that October 7th happened, it was a special religious Jewish holiday. And they was all on holidays. That's why so many of them happened. That's what I believe. Have you any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't believe it. I believe in something completely different, but I'll leave that to myself because it can't be proved.
Oh, no. Share it with me.
Nope.
All right. You're such a tease. Yeah, and that's why I think what happened. That's why it happened so drastically. I don't know.
There's ways you keep a channel, all right? And there's ways you lose the channel, right? I've been doing this 8 years, all right?
Fair enough. But like I said earlier on, it's nice to see that it's been weakened, all these terrorist Palestinian supporters up in London. It's been toned down. I mean, London was absolutely minimal. I mean, you could have fitted them all in the back of the police van.
It says here, dozens of police officers have to guard the statue of British wartime hero Winston Churchill as a massive pro-Palestine protest takes place. Now, let me have a... Don't go anywhere. I'm going to see if I can, with my limited skills, live stream this to you.
Oh, no, don't touch anything.
Right, let me see if I'll try and blow that up. Better go careful when I say I'll try and blow that up in size. right? Now this is the pro-Palestine lot, right? I mean, if you look at the middle class comments, the theory is that some of them are not too keen on the statue. I mean, let's be honest, they don't abide by our rules and stuff. And Big Ben is nothing more than somewhere to put a load of propaganda plastered up the side. Now, from the river to the sea, not everybody knows what that means. You need to look into it, really, is the best way. But as Charmed was trying to say, if this statue came down, what do you think would happen? And choose your words carefully.
Well, the thing is, what they did the thing about the Colston down in Bristol, as you well know.
Yeah, he doesn't swim.
And now they're trying to say that it should be kept as a memorial as to the slavery and all this kind of stuff. And look what they've done to it. Now, the thing is, right, on the polls, they did the polls, and if it's for the people, and it's like more than 50% was saying no, let's take that down. Yeah, all right, let's look into it. But it wasn't that.
Here's a thought.
It's mob rule.
So yeah, exactly that. They didn't ask, they did. Right. So Colston, a philanthropist and allegedly something to do with the slave trade, right?
Yeah.
So you take his statue down. Well, what about all of these black people over there that exported slaves that they'd captured and sold it to the whites?
You bitch. Because I was about to say to you, what is worse? So I mean that in a loving way. What is worse, right? The person that's sat in the doorway of an ex-Woolworths or Comet store, right, sleeping in his little tent, is he the worst one? Should he be punished more than the person that's selling him the drugs and profiteering from it?
Well, if you're going to talk about drug sales, you need to talk about the CIA. They're the biggest dealer of drugs worldwide. But
yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, right? So even now, as we speak, Saudi Arabia, India, China, all these other places are doing slavery right now. Why are they not going outside? I mean, look at Assad. Not Assad. Was it Assad, Syria? Right. There was no place about how many millions he killed.
Stop. You're asking the question that you already know the answer to.
I'm putting it out there to the people.
They all know the answer.
I know the answer.
The only reason that they're coming after white people is because they're white and they've got to fucking vilify us because they've got a plan, right? Now, you don't go after the black people because, to be honest, historically speaking, I have never seen the blacks take over all these different countries and change the demo, just change the entire globe with everything that they knew. They didn't come to this place where we were all living in poor conditions and give us sanitation, industry, law and order, medicine, and all the other things. They didn't go all the way around and they didn't find America. They didn't do things with Australia. They didn't do all this sort of stuff. So they aren't potentially a threat because for whatever reason, they fight amongst themselves and can't get organized. Okay. Whitey is a problem. Whitey has done so much in this world that if you want to change the world, you best get rid of Whitey because he might resist your change. What do you think?
I'll give people advice that if they go on to History Debunked, there's a guy called Simon on there, it's very factual. It will tell you about what really took place. Mm-hmm. And now we have up in London, I mean, we had all these things like military, the RAF, no white supply, BBC were offering jobs, no white supply. Now we got in London a theatre. We don't want no white gays, no black people that don't identify as black people. So how many people in the chat right now would like to go to this thing in London? But the trouble is, you've got ULEZ and everything else to get in there. You might get stabbed and robbed and raped, and then to go to this theatre show and identify as a black person because they can't legally stop you from going in there.
This is where you're wrong again, but I got to like this because you're playing their game, but you're falling into the trap. You can
you know what I'm doing.
You can identify as anything as long as you're mentally delicate and no threat. If you're a white person playing a game saying I identify as black, you can't do that. However, I believe there's something I've got to have a look through my new stuff where they've it's a white only thing, right? And they've banned anybody else. How do you think that went down?
Who's funding all this? It's like they wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Vote for you, remain or leave, and this or that. It's all about a divide thing going on, and a lot of people are falling for it. I've got black mates. They fucking hate what's going on right now.
Well, any normal black, right, can see through all this shit, right? And I've got to say, the great percentage of blacks, like, that are hard workers, the ones that actually got a life, the ones that don't blame anything on anybody else, they don't fuck all do with this. They know they're being used, and they are. And unfortunately, the less educated black people, the ones that were more malleable to brainwashing. And by the way, before you think it's just blacks, white people have been massively brainwashed, right? But what they do is they pick the people.
Well, look at Palestine protests.
How many people do you see that go, oh, I don't know about that, I can't think about that, or I'm not interested in that, right? And I meet them all the time. I said, what do you think about this? Oh, I don't like to think about that, or I don't really do politics. And I'm thinking, the reason we're in this shit right now is because you're woefully ignorant and walking through this with your fucking eyes shut, and you don't want any hassle, and you don't want any stress, as long as I can get my holiday.
Exactly. You got I mean, I'm fucking. It's hard work being a shepherd sometimes. It really is. But anyway, I'm just a normal bloke with 5 kids. I want a roof over my head, a warm bed, and food in my belly, and somehow pay the electric bill. But the trouble is, you've got a lot of people out there. They're in their own little bubble. They come home from work. The kids have probably gone to bed already, and they just want to sit down, eat their food, watch a bit of the news, and unfortunately, they do things like watch the BBC and ITV and Channel 4, and they don't really. Well, if it's on the news, it must be true. That's their. Ugh.
On the news must be true. God, can you remember when we felt like that?
It is though, isn't it? It's how it is. That's how it is. And when you tell them these things and you show them these things, they still don't believe it.
I'm going to read to you a little bit about, no, I'm not. I was going to read to you. What do you reckon about that Sam Melia getting locked up then?
What, the guy for putting the stickers up for 2 years?
Now, Tommy Robinson has come out and defended Sam Melia's, or basically said what they've done to Sam Melia is wrong. Now, that is a huge leap of faith by Tommy, and Patriotic Alternative talk right about what Tommy's doing. Can you see how all these people, whether they wanted to, or where in the old days they were so far apart it was unbelievable, all of them have realized that they're going to have to start sticking up for each other because they're coming from.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what I live in shitty little Swindon, right? You know, like shitty little Western. We both have our crosses to bear, and I go down to this Polish shop in this place called Manchester Road. It's very
Polish.
It's very ethnically diverse in one respect. And my little five-year-old, when we're walking along, going to the shop, we park up. They've got these Palestinian flags stuck everywhere because it's a very that kind of diverse thing. And it's, I swear to God, I'm not lying. I'll do a video one day. My little 5-year-old and my 10-year-old start peeling the stickers off the Palestinian flags. I have to stop them not because I don't want them to do it, and they're more out-garnet than me, because I don't want any. You know, I'm on my own with my little girls. You know, that's the way things are. Don't lose hope, guys. That the kids in the school are being very indoctrinated. It's like when we had the bin
Just
Biden.
So what your girls were doing was the right thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
And you've stopped.
Without a doubt.
Listen, but at an early age, you just stopped them from doing that.
Because of where we were. We weren't very. It's like being in London, or it's like spot that kind of ethnic person. And we were very, very white, and it's just it's a Polish shop in a corner in Manchester Road.
What I'm saying is, you've just showed your kids compliance.
No, they showed me.
Right,
they showed me.
No. What your kids showed you was being rebellious and doing the right thing. And what you said is, we've got to do the wrong thing because there's too many people out here that will bully us.
Yeah, mate.
I know what you're saying, mate. But
yeah, I know.
We're all a bit different.
What I'm trying to say is, my 5-year-old, a 5-year-old girl knew.
I get that, mate. I get that. Right. But what we've done is we've showed the kids that we just comply for the easy life. That's the problem here.
No, I explained to them why we couldn't do it now.
No. I understand what you're saying, but what you've just showed them is we have to comply because it's easier. That was a problem.
Oh no! Don't say that to me.
Well, I just did, because that's what's just happened, and you've got to think about this. Yeah,
I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying, but at the time, it's daylight. And we're right, literally across the road from the mosque. Well, anybody wants to Google it, it's Manchester Road in
I get
Swindon.
that. I get all of that.
And,
but what happens is there's so many not at the times in the UK that we're in this mess.
Yeah, right time, right place.
No, there is no right time, right place. You can't pick your moments. Yep, you've got one of those problems, right? That you've done something here that basically you've done it for a quiet life. You've done it for your own safety. I get it, right? But
the safety of my girls,
because we all do it for our own safety, is why we're here. You know, when we went to war, right? Hang on a second, computer's crashed. So bear with.
I know what you're saying. Oh, echo. Feel like I'm on acid.
Yeah, the computer's just crashed. Bear with.
All right, man. Oh, you doubled up.
Yeah, I'm now on the other computer. I'm assuming that people can hear. Right, put one in the comments if you can hear me. This is fucking.
Well, I can hear you.
You can hear me because you still will, but
Yeah. Hold on. Type 1. White erasure.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah. We're still there. We're still live.
This fucking computer started crashing again. So.
Look, you know what? Right. Look. Ask Pat my number. I'll give you a call next couple of days and do a login and help you out a bit. If no one else is available.
Sorry, mate. I don't let anybody from YouTube or anybody I've met through YouTube come into my computer. I've got a bloke that goes and does that.
I appreciate that. But when you're you're watching on, we do a team viewer, you can see exactly what I can do.
I know. It doesn't matter, mate. I've got a rule. I don't let people from outside anywhere near it. Anyway, well, we're still live. That's the bonus. But I've put some software back onto this fucking thing, and since I've done it, the cunt's crashed like a fucker. So I've got to work out what it is that I've done because it wasn't crashing before. But hey ho,
just keep that one PC purely for this, and then once you've got it all set up really well, just do a system image backup. So you always got a backup. And I know you like gaming and everything. Keep that one separate for gaming.
Anyway, mate, look, I'm going to get on because we got a lot of people trying to ring in. Right, no worries. I'll speak to you in a bit.
I'm done.
All right, see you in a bit.
Goodbye, fellow patriots. Keep the faith.
Right. I have to wonder what the fuck I've installed on this since that's caused this, whether it's had an update or whatever, because we went from Windows 11 to Windows 10. Oh, God. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, Simon. How are you?
Long time.
Yes, I know it is. Rev, I'm going to have to apologize to you, to your daughter, and to anyone else who has children or young cousins, nieces, nephews, or whatever, because I've got a terminal illness, and I don't know how long I've got.
Right. What's that got to do with my daughter?
It breaks my heart that I may die soon, and that if and when I do eventually die, that the world is going to be a far worse place when I leave it than it was when I came into the world. Right. And I have to take some responsibility for that, because even though I did try to resist the machine, do the right thing, I failed. We all failed. And now we're leaving behind a worse inheritance to our children and our children's children than what we received from our parents and grandparents. And that is an awful, awful mark of shame against myself and against all of us.
Well, at the end of the day,
and it breaks my heart.
Do you run the government?
No.
There you go then. So how could you have had anything to do with it, mate?
Because we were complicit. We either did as we were told, or we gave them the benefit of the doubt, or we were too afraid We were too selfish. And it's like that film V for Vendetta, where Codename V tells the public, if you really want to blame anyone
Blame
for
yourself.
the states of the country, blame yourself. Look into a mirror and blame yourself. And that applies to me. That applies to everyone listening to this.
Yeah, well,
because
so many people wanted an easy life. They wanted to just fucking go about their day. They didn't want any of this hassle. I get that. But, you know, it is... Hang on, this computer's supposed to be restarted and it's just turned off and stayed off. Bear with. Oh, God. I'm working too hard at this tonight. Fucking, it's meant to be easier than this. And I'm sober, thank fuck. Look, our problem was when the people that didn't like us, right, who didn't have a life, went into politics at a young age. They wanted to get power. We were all out enjoying ourselves. And we basically were late to the party, didn't get involved. And we spent, I don't know how many years just partying. I was one of them. Many others like me, or many people just had their heads down that just wanted to get on with life and build a fucking house and didn't see the signs, if you want to call it that way, right? Anyway, long story short, while these other people were gaining positions of power and we weren't, we've let them get into a position now where they're in everything. Yes, that was our mistake. And yeah, we're guilty of that, but we're not guilty of being degenerates. We're not guilty of all the other shit. However, this isn't a one-man crusade, mate. So no disrespect. When you do leave the planet, it will go on. And there will be people still doing, I mean, great, do what you do and all the rest of it. But sorry, I'm just going through the internet. Going through my, I can't believe this. This computer's proper crashed now. Won't even pick up a fucking camera. Oh, there we are. Hello. Right, bear with me a second. I'm just going to switch from one to the other. See if it works. Right. No, that's not working. Still. That's a stay. Bear with. Right, that should now not be echoing. Are you still there?
I'm still here, Reverend.
What it is at the moment, if I go on the main computer, then I can dig up all the information. If I go on the secondary computer, then I can't share because it's only got one fucking TV, so I struggle. Anyway, right. So apparently you can all see me again now. Love the echo reverb. Yeah, it's like the worst case of fucking singing, so I'll just go through the comments. But listen, just crack on while you can, okay, mate? And yeah, you know, what can I say? So how's things?
I mean, I saw your video earlier this week, and it did inspire me on the one hand, but it also made me very sad because I was saying those things 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And I found myself in the same situation that Sam Melia is in now. And whatever you may think of him as a person or his politics, what happened to him and what happened to me is a miscarriage of justice and an absolute disgrace. And it's bare naked fascism.
They've got people out in the streets at the moment that are holding up flags of an organization which is dubious at best, and some would say a terrorist organization, and they're fine. That bloke had a fucking some picture or a flag or something in his garage of fucking, you know, a German organization back in the 30s, which is a shit idea. I've got to be honest. But and when he's saying we've got a problem with immigration. He's right. When he's saying that the demographics will be changed within X amount of years, he's right. These are facts. These are, you can't argue with that. What they're trying to say is that he was trying to stir up racial hatred, but they couldn't come to any great conclusion. They just come to the feelings, and with their feelings, that's when they fucked him.
It was similar with me. The police knew I was not racist. They knew I was telling the truth, but they didn't care. They libeled me. They falsely accused me of being a white supremacist. They falsely accused me of all sorts. I've never forgiven that, and it burns me inside that I won't be able to get even with those bastards before I die.
Well, you leave it to God. All right. That's all I'll say. There it is. Anyway, bud, I'm going to get on to the next caller because we've got a few trying to get in. All right. So I'll say thank you for ringing in.
Thank you, Reverend.
I'll speak to you in a bit.
Thank you, chat. Bye.
I'd love to know what I've done to this computer. It's working fine. It was working fine, and now it's not. So I've obviously added some shit to it that's really pissed it off. Whatever. Another caller. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Is this the Rev?
It is.
Excellent.
What's on your mind?
Hello, Rev.
Yeah, you can. If you turn the live stream off in the background, you'll be able to hear me better, bud.
Yeah, just done it, mate. Excuse my ignorance, but I've heard obviously it's got to get a lot worse before it gets better. Now I'm losing complete faith. I already feel that it's already far too gone. You know, how do you see that maybe we'd be able to bring it back in the near future?
To be honest, things have to get to the point where we can't fix it. All right, it has to get that far. Because
that's what I thought.
When it becomes on the knife edge, right, at that point, the left will have woken up. The middle class will have woken up because they're about to lose everything they've worked so hard for because they don't give a fuck about you or me. But when it looks like they might be affected, they'll want to get involved then, right? And you are starting to see them getting involved now. Now, when the entire country is right, and this is, but by this point, right, I'll describe it in a film because that's the best way. So you've got one side in the film that's grown in power and strength, and it started off as being quite pleasant and all the rest of it. But what happens is as it goes forward and grows in size, it demands more and more and more to the point that it's bullying everything around it and demanding that everybody succumb, kneel down, do as it's told, or you will suffer, right? And the other people have kept their head down for a long time because they don't want to get any problem. And the people that lead the country are more cowards, all right? But they then realize that they're in a lot of trouble. And they've actually realized that it doesn't matter how much money, it's no good if you can't use it. Right? And I'm going to use that in the most nicest possible way. That's not by us, by the way, all right? They've realized that what they were hoodwinked into by financial incentive has actually done something very, very terrible. You know how you see these people in the films where they do all this stuff and at the end of it, when they're in a load of shit, they're like, oh, what have I done? And this will be the moment where the politicians will be, fuck me, what have I done? And you will get some people who are strong, who are honest, who are straight. They'll go, get out of the way. Let us lead this. This is going to be bad. And at that point, you will start voting in independents. And these independents will be honest, straight up, but brutal. And at that point, we'll end up with civil war. It's an inevitability we can't do anything about, but we even if we did nothing now, right, and at the numbers that are in the country already, okay, and with the way that white people reproduce and black people reproduce and Muslim people reproduce, right, what will happen is just an inevitability if you do your maths, right? So at some point they will demand, because they will grow in size, that you have to be Muslim. All of you, every one of you, blacks, Muslims, Chinese people got to be Muslim, Greek, Italian, Spanish, French, fucking lot. Everybody's got to be Muslim or else. And these people are so convinced and so dedicated. Don't forget, if they went out and did something silly and they ended up, worst case scenario, something bad happens to them, they get martyred. That's better. These people aren't promised a place in heaven. I don't know if you know about how it works. There's only so many places. I know a little bit, There's only so many places in heaven, but you if you do something that will get you martyred, you should get in. So the way they go, they want to do that. But when it gets onto a knife edge, that's when strong people hopefully will stand up. So you'll get businessmen, and I'm talking about local businessmen kind of people. You know, the guy that always served his community, was a good egg, kept his head down, you know, God-fearing kind of creature, misses and kids, keeps it together, that kind of stuff, honest, straight talking guy. You'll want somebody that's got some sort of acumen, right? Some sort of common sense, some sort of leadership skills to go in and do the obvious. And then you'll get, hopefully, a group that will lead the country out of this shit. And as they start to gain strength and start to do the right thing and start to do the honest thing, you'll end up with massive amounts of terrorism aimed at us. Right, that is the community, the country on a whole. Because you know how, like, a spoiled child, when it doesn't get its own way, what does it do? Throws a fit, doesn't it? A tantrum.
Yeah, it throws. Well, we're seeing that now, aren't we?
Islam, if it looks, because at the moment Islam's winning, so it doesn't have to do anything, right? If Islam starts to realize that actually this isn't going our way anymore, what does it do when it's not getting its own way? It creates holy fuck. That's what's all happen. So we will have to, as we're putting things back to as they used to be and getting things right, we'll have to undergo checkpoints, random attacks, all sorts of terrible stuff. But there is no way around this, because all we want is to live a nice, quiet life. We're not going to be given this. So if you do the right thing, you vote in the correct way, and you stay on the right side of the law, right? I've got to say this because fuck it, people watching this will go, oh, he's calling for anything. I'm not calling for anything. But if we stay by the right side of the law, but in legal things, we brought things about that would stop bad things happening, and we stopped Islam getting a hold, and we repelled Sharia law, that's the point they'll go fucking absolutely mental. But the way you deal with people,
we need to take courage.
Yeah, and you don't fund them. You know, why am I funding one bloke that's got 3 misses that's trying to breed the country into a different demographic? I'm not going to fund that. Fuck you. I'm not giving you benefits. I've worked for this money. That's my tax. You fucking, no, bollocks. You pay for yourself, kid. Fuck off.
Yeah, I've worked all my life, and
the system, the benefit system will collapse, and I've got to be honest, I can't wait. Right? There are a lot of innocent people that need that benefit system, but we'll have to look after them. But there's a lot of people living off that benefit system that hate us. And a lot of them that ain't that invested in what their beliefs are. So say, for instance, right, these people who don't like us, who live off our benefits, right, when the benefit system goes, they'll just go to another country, live off their benefits, and fuck them in the ass. So
and we've seen that repeatedly, haven't we? For every country, every community they've passed through, they've destroyed it. Yeah.
They're not about creation, they're about destruction.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's things
scary, dark times.
Yeah, they are. But they're also a positive, because for the last X amount of hundreds of years, we've been run by a small group of individuals that hold the purse strings and that buy everybody's loyalty. And once you deal with, you get people educated on what the people coming to our country want, what they want to do to us, right? Once you've dealt with that, right, and people understand about that, and they start resisting this hatred towards people that have been kind to them, right? Because that's what we've done. We've offered them a better life, right? Many of them, by the way, have been sound. We have to make this clear. Many of them have been sound and have got on and had a nice life, right? But there are a group at the moment that don't like us. The problem is the group that have been sound haven't got the guts to stand up against the ones that don't, right? That's a problem.
Yeah.
But once we dealt with that, we have to ask, who was the people that were pushing this? Who backed them? Why did they back them? What were they trying to achieve by doing this? Why did they want to reach that end goal? Why do they not like us? Why do they hate us? Why do they want to ruin our society? It's for financial reasons, but there are other reasons. Why? Why would you do that? You know, we had a nice country here. Why would you change it? So there's more than one people against us that don't like us, and we are persecuted for being honest, decent, white, powerful, constructive. Just fucking, there's so much there.
Yeah, mate. It's going to get dark, isn't it? It's got to get, like you say, worst case, civil war. We're going to have to take it back, because it's going to be so far ingrained in our politics.
Right.
There is no way back that way.
Just to make it legally clear, right? We won't.
Yeah, I'm not inciting violence.
No. But we have to make this clear. We won't start civil war. That's not us.
Yeah.
But if people, say, for instance, ended up attacking us, we're not just going to sit there and get attacked. We would look after ourselves. But nobody wants any of this.
Yeah.
I have to make this so fucking clear for legal reasons, for YouTube reasons. No, everybody wants a nice, quiet life. Nobody wants this shit.
Mm.
But, you know.
Yeah, we've all worked too hard for it, haven't we? And we're in this position because we're so liberal, we're so accommodating to this, haven't we? You know, and like you say, and then they come here and they want to ruin our way of life. You know, attack our values and so on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody just put in there, no paid super chats. I don't understand about super chats. Have I got to monetize it to get super chats? Because it isn't monetized. Just saying. You can't monetize this shit. No, sorry. So I turned the monetize button off. I was like, this is a bad idea. I'm not going down that road. So
excellent. Cheers, Rev. What I'll do is I'll let someone else call in.
All right, mate.
Outstanding work. Keep it up. Thank you very much.
You take steady, all right, bud? See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.
I don't want to depress anybody, but I'm not going to lie to people. Hello.
Hello, you.
Hello, you. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Well, I'd say I was living the dream, but that's not fucking lie.
Yeah, ditto on that one.
Oh, fuck it. It is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, what do you want to talk about, bud? God, let's talk about something cheery. No, just kidding. Yeah, what's on your mind?
I've just got so much. Well, I don't know. It's just like we've been like over the last few years, we've been conditioned to see that there's no colour. There's nothing that there's no sort of there's nothing that's a.
But isn't that racist?
Like,
to not acknowledge colour.
No. Well, exactly. Like it appears to be racist. If you like, say, there's a black guy in front of me right now. If I said to you, like, if I said to another mate, like, there's a black guy in front of me now, go, hang on, no, why is he black? Like, he's equal to you, so why are you saying he's black?
But this is all part of social conditioning to tell you not to listen to what, or your eyes tell you something, but don't obey your eyes. So that when you see somebody fucking mainly peacefully beating somebody to death, you didn't see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the worst form of conditioning. To be honest, it's not far off. Do you remember the CIA did it back in the 60s and the 70s, MK Ultra?
I'm not sure, but I can't sort of go with you on that one. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I'll go with you. Like, yeah.
What they're doing now is something similar because it's been a very slow. I'm trying to acknowledge something else in the chat, by the way. So if I seem a bit fucking preoccupied, what they're trying to do is brainwash us, and it started very slow. And now it's more obvious, right? So, you know, a man can be a woman. No, you can't. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I currently identify as a cat.
Excellent. So,
yeah.
I'm taking it that when you're finished here, what you're going to do is shred the furniture, throw a fit,
yeah,
and then go and fucking.
And I'll be up there with Mrs. Slocum and everything. Like, yeah, I can do all that sort of. I can throw furniture. I can go out and get shagged by a Tom. Any night of the week, but yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, you run the house.
Right now, no, but I don't just identify as a cat. I identify as a black cat.
Oh, fucking brilliant! But your actual color is fucking ginger, right? I know, I get it. So somebody keeps putting in the chat because we haven't actually talked about it at all, which is quite good. They're saying, "Am I LGBTQ plus phobic?" They keep putting this. We haven't even talked about it. Sorry, I know you're trying to get attention for yourself.
I'm DIY, B&Q, FBI, and CIA. Plus.
Well, quite. All right. I mean, fucking hell. I'm MGBM, GMK.
And that's how I identify.
Get it? I identify as a fucking wrinkled, middle-aged, fucking slightly receding, pot-bellied, skin fucking disgruntled wanker.
And you do really well.
I know. I've hit the nail on the head. And unlike others, I'm convincing. You could believe that I'm a wrinkled, pot-bellied, fucking crippling, festering old cunt. Yeah. Say it as it is.
Oh, mate, mate. I mean, can I just say, like, I've been a subscriber to you for a long time.
You poor bastard.
And it's a privilege and an honour to speak to you. And I've watched your posts. You know, when you're driving the truck and stuff like that, and stuff that you do, and it's just so refreshing to sort of. God bless YouTube. I say that much because, like, before YouTube, like, we just, like, I'm of a similar vintage yourself. I'm 49 right now. I probably will be 49 until I'm 50. But
well, just to break the chain, 45 for as long as 45.
When we were growing up, all we had was the mainstream media and BBC, ITV, and all that sort of thing. But now we've got choices to sort of look at things from a different perspective, and have loads of different sort of points of view, and we've got a choice now to do stuff and listen to stuff and respond to stuff that we didn't have that sort of choice before. If that makes sense, probably not, but yeah.
Get it off your plate, sir.
All right, that's that piss, but yeah.
No worries. Oh, by the way, has everybody pressed the like button? How's the algorithm? Thank you. And share, please, if you will. Let's see if we can get past 1,400. Cheers. So, is this the first time you've rung in out of interest?
Yes.
It's not that hard, is it? I mean, you just like talking. Well, you basically.
My girlfriend said it wasn't that hard, so it wasn't a
harsh, unfair, harsh. How could she say such a thing?
I've had a few drinks, I suppose. So.
But for it's like pick up the phone, and talk to a mate, isn't it? Really, to be honest.
But my sort of reason is like, so we're so like you and I have a similar race, I guess, and there's other races, and we're told to not sort of spot differences in other races. But I know for a fact that there's if there's a man who's an African, he's got a lot of a different sort of vibe than maybe like a white man or an Asian man or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we're not sort of the fact that we're sort of encouraged to sort of see that everyone is equal is almost disrespecting every race.
I mean, how can you say everybody's equal, right? Because no,
we're encouraged to believe that everyone is equal, and everyone is equal in their own way. But there's still differences, and the fact that people don't recognise those differences. So, like a white man is different to a black man or an Asian man or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we've all got equal sort of credence in society, but we've all got cultural differences as well. But the fact that if you point those things out, then they aren't recognised, and if you do point those things out, then you're racist.
Oh well, I'm quite happy to be bothered by being called racist. So you won't call me racist. Crack on, it don't bother me.
No, I'm not calling you racist.
No. I get what you're saying, but I mean, if people want to call me racist, I just quite enjoy it.
No, I'm not calling you racist at all. I'm just saying.
No. I see what you're saying. You're not saying it, right? What I'm saying is, if say for somebody else didn't like what I was saying, you called me a racist, I'd be like, whatever, mate. You really truly don't understand what you're talking about. Bless, pat on the head, condescend, patronise. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna get called buzzwords because if you're bringing up, oh fuck me, the computer's crashed again. Bear with. Oh, this is becoming fucking trying. 1 second. I think I'm going to stay on the other computer for the rest of the night. This is fucking shit.
not gay sort of thing, but I love you. I love you like a brother.
I love you a long time. $5.
What's happened to the what's happened to the like the plant thing, like the green thing, the green
Dave,
plant thing?
Dave, he was live last night. He had Field Marshal Fisting on. He had the Shake of London on. He also had Patrick the Potato on. Yeah, it was quite something.
Oh, that's a fantastic thing, mate. That is I just like my heart pounds with respect for that. That's fantastic. That's brilliant.
I got to be honest. I don't know how it comes across. We're getting some good comments. So
No, it's a line between like so what you do there is like you offer like real conversation, and you've got this realism of Dada and Bob Mortimer and everything like, but it's all there and it just works. It's whatever it just works. It's like no one's ever done it before. It just works.
Well, the left don't understand humor, so that's the entire point of it, right? If they don't get humor. Well, if they don't get that sort of thing, then give it to them with a plant. But as a plant, as the plant can get away with saying things that others can't because it's a fucking plant. Get over it, innit? And then
also the irony, like you're a plant, which has got the connotations of like you're a plant, as in like the medical sense.
Yeah.
But you're a plant in the physical sense because you're a fucking plant.
It's a plant, isn't it? So just whatever. But yeah, I enjoy it actually. It's a bit of a release. So because you can just take
brilliant.
The fucking
and like you started something there, and I think it's brilliant. So yeah.
Not just that, you can. What you want to talk about is ridiculous stuff. On Dave wants to be able to just. I mean, what was the latest one he was going to talk about? Hang on, I'll have a quick look because the topics for next week. Let's have a quick gander because you start putting stuff into. Where is? Hang on, Dave's newsroom. Right, so let's have a look. Right, yeah, like man sentenced for mowing a gigantic penis shape into his parents' lawn. That's the sort of things that Dave is going to talk about.
Sorry, say that again. I missed that. Say again. What was that?
Man sentenced for mowing a gigantic penis shape into parents' lawn. That's just Dave stuff, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh mate, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
So
brilliant.
Stick with Dave, isn't it? So if you ever get any ridiculous fucking stories, stupid fucking stuff that make people laugh, get it to me, send it in the Discord. We'll put it into Dave's silly room, and then because if you want serious news, don't watch Dave. If you want some weird,
mate, like news doesn't need to be serious. News can be prophetic and funny and insightful and everything. And I think news. I think the mainstream media has always regarded news as being like a respectful sort of thing that they're going to tell you. But this, like what you offer, and through your various devices and channels, is news that actually is an insightful way to communicate to people.
Yeah,
am I making sense? I don't know.
Yeah, totally. And Patrick the Potato really does touch some subjects. But, how are you going to fucking? How are you going to fucking? Yeah, he is. He's a fucking. We're just watching. He doesn't catch the blight. Obviously, as an Irish potato, we've got to be careful. But he touches on subjects that I wouldn't touch. But as a potato, you could probably do that. So by the way, if you're a
potato, you can touch things that maybe Jimmy Savile couldn't. But yeah.
Well, as a potato, he's plugged some holes, but that's another story. Anyway, we're getting a bit Dave there. So I'm going to let you jump off, and I'll get on to the next call.
All right, mate. No worries. Yeah.
All right, mate.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
No worries, mate. See you in a bit, mate. Cheers, mate. Bye. So I've bounced around between computers. I'm glad I got this fucking laptop still, because otherwise this could have gone quite tragically wrong. But no, we've got 1,260 views. Who doesn't love paradox? Right, true. Hello.
Hello, is that Simon?
It is indeed. How you doing?
All right, my mate. Right. I want to talk about the weather.
Go on, son. That seems very British of you.
Right. No, well, the way they're manipulating it. Very, very clever what they're doing.
Go on.
I think all this other shit that's going on in the background, I think it's like smoke screens what they're doing.
Right.
The way I started off, Simon, was I had my first poke, and then I looked into all this stuff and I seen what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen you probably heard of John O'Looney, the funeral director.
Right.
I opened up to him. I rung in, and he told me what was going on with stuff in care homes, and I speak to him regularly. I speak to him every couple of weeks, and we catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started looking into other things, and I was thinking, look, they've gone from the pandemic, they've gone from war in Russia, they've gone to climate change.
Mm-hmm.
And if I looked into the climate change, I see all the weather manipulation. Sorry, they're doing.
Right.
I see the weather we've had this year and last year.
Apparently, it's done to keep the world cool, isn't it? That's their reasons for doing what they do.
It's absolute bullshit if you think about it. See, Simon, my job for a living, I make vitamins.
Right.
Right, I make vitamins for a living.
Do you recommend them?
Now, during the pandemic, our biggest one was vitamin D and zinc.
Yeah.
For your immune system. Now they block the sun with what the shit they do in the skies.
Mm.
People are not getting the sun. People have got weak immune systems. They're ill all the time. They're full of colds, coughs and colds. They can't clear. Sorry about that. I've got a dog running around at the moment. They block the sun, so you get your weak immune system. You get a cold. You're ill.
Yeah.
They make you weak. And you look at what they want to do with the farmers. They want to stop the meat, which is protein to men.
Mm-hmm.
So if they stop the protein to men, it makes them. They want to make them into feminists. They don't want to fight men. They make them weak.
Mind you, the water
and
doesn't help, does it, with
weak
all the,
immune systems.
What's all that stuff in the water again? Estrogen, isn't it? That doesn't.
Yeah,
help.
Making them weak, and they don't want to fight men. They want to fight feminists.
Well, the sperm count on men has gone down, hasn't it, over the last 40 years? And testosterone.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
And you got to ask. I mean, a few things that have gotten rid of testosterone. If you're not confronted with difficult situations all the time growing up, and you haven't got to be more alpha, you'll reduce. If you're living on a shit diet, that won't help.
Yeah.
If you're not getting exercise, that won't help. If you're not getting sun, that won't help. If you're not, all the rest.
I agree, 100%, Simon. Now, 3 years ago, I've been trying to speak to people about this. I've lost friends and family over this. What's been going on? Very, very clever what they're doing, the way they're attacking us. Very, very clever.
Yeah, but it's
now, I was trying to speak to people about it. I spoke to a person that I worked with whose wife, she worked in a maternal ward in a local hospital where I live. And she said she's seen the maternity figures, the birth rates drop after all this stuff started.
Did it drop with all demographics or just a few?
There was lots of stillbirths and miscarriages.
Right. Okay. Now we're getting we're getting into a realm now that we can't talk about.
I know. I understand. I don't want to speak about stuff like that. But my main thing is, Simon, is the weather. What they're doing. People need to start taking vitamin D to get their immune system up. Because what I've seen and what I've looked into, I studied Agenda 21 to 2030, and I can see it all playing out. What they're doing, and the way they're doing it is they're trying to make it look good for this and good for that. But it's not. It's an evil agenda. And I just need to tell people, start taking supplements or whatever, to try and get healthy so you can beat this.
Yeah, lots of veg, lots of sun. Get out there, get some fucking exercise.
Yes, exactly right.
And you get a lot of you get a lot out of meat. I hate to say it. You know.
Yeah, you do. Do you know what? Your channel is absolutely fucking spot on, mate. I don't know. Are you still on YouTube?
Because I word things differently.
You
know what I mean?
And I spoke to John, funeral director, about 2 weeks ago. Last time I spoke to him.
Yeah.
And we had a good conversation. And I said he'd been on with what's his name, John Campbell.
Right. Okay.
And I said to him, "Why are YouTube letting this stuff on now? It was all blocked, and they're letting this stuff on now."
Right. I have a feeling about that, but I won't say it. But at the end of the day, the lesser channels like ourselves, something
is happening. Something's going on.
If you look at some of the people that have been on the BBC, some of the people that have been part of the system, right, that have now started up YouTube channels and can talk about all the topics that we can't. Do you not find that a bit strange?
Yeah.
Right.
Very strange. Very, very strange. Obviously, I don't pay my TV license. I don't watch mainstream TV.
Now, Dr. John Campbell's a nurse, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I just think to myself, if one person or a few people can talk about what everybody else can't, I find that a bit odd.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. Anyway, buddy.
Do you know what, Sam? There's other stuff that I'd like to talk to you about, but I don't think we could put it on this.
What we'll do, right, is I might do a Sunday sermon, right? Because about people being complicit in what went on. Yeah, well, listen. If I do a Sunday sermon, I'll set it up for a different platform, and we'll hoik everybody over, and then we'll talk about those topics that we just can't hear. Yeah, but please, I beg people, just
do something, because what they're doing now, it's horrendous. What they're doing to people now is they're making people's weak immune system, making them ill. That's all they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to agree, the weather has been shit, hasn't it?
Consistent. You know what I mean? It's shit, but consistent.
It's consistent.
Yeah.
And the technologies they've got and what they're doing, it's shocking.
Yeah, they've got unbelievable ability to do stuff. And when you ask these American pilots, which willfully go out and spray stuff, right? They say, we've been told we're doing this to keep down global warming. They believe it.
Yeah, I know. See, the brain people, do you know what though, Sam? And I'll admit now, before we got my first one, I've not had any more since. I was complicit. I believed everything they said on the TV, everything. But now I've opened up and I've seen this, I've read that, I've spoke to people, I've opened my eyes, I can see what's going on. And it's all, what they're doing, it's so clever what they're doing. All the little bits they're doing.
I think the word is insidious, isn't it? I think the word they use for this is insidious, and it is.
It's every single day, and the people that I work with are so brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
I say there's over 300 people I work with, and 5 of us know what's going on.
They'll come round. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further down this road, but what I will do is I will, at least once a month, I will start a stream, and then we'll go to another platform, and we'll talk about all of those topics that we can't. That's the best buy.
Yeah. Right, well, keep on trucking, mother trucker, and I enjoy your videos.
All right, buddy. You take it steady, all right?
And you, Simon. Cheers, pal.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Till that, mate.
Fucking hell, another call straight away. Hello?
All right, Simon, how's it going, mate?
Not too bad. Have you got the live stream in the background? If you could just turn that off, buddy, that'd be great.
No, I've just turned it off there, mate. Sorry.
Cool. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I spoke to you a few times.
Yes, I've got the accent. I like your accent. I got to be honest. You can water it straight away. It's fucking straight up. Is it all right, mate? Yes. So, what's on your mind, buddy?
Yeah, I was trying to get onto your. That this is not on my mind, but I was trying to get your live stream up tonight. I couldn't find it. It wouldn't come up on YouTube.
Why does that not
really
surprise me?
To get it, it was like it wasn't advertising it out. You know what I mean?
It's not the BBC, or Sky News or whatever. So you got to look a bit harder with this one. Yeah. Oh, mate. Well, you look at how.
Well, I'm just thinking about that last caller there. He had a great point. I mean, this is all worrying what's going on now, because we've all known what's going to happen. But what are we going to do about it? You know what I mean? Because everyone's just sitting back and just letting it continue and continue. But it's going to come to a point, and then what?
Do you remember that scene out of Snatch? I think it was Snatch. You get the guns. No, you get the fucking guns. All right, I'll get the guns. Remember that clip, right? Everybody's like, you go first. No, you fucking go first. And it's like, well, some fuckers got to. But we're not used to. In the old days, the alpha male stood forward and everybody went, oh, he's an alpha. Wow. Right. And everybody wanted to be like him. Now it's like, fuck that shit. You do you. I ain't getting fucking wiped out for you. And that's been brought about. So everybody's going, tell you what, we'll let that fucker get in there. And if he wins, we'll pat him on the back. And if he don't, we ain't lost nothing. And that's where we're at. So it has to get so bad that everybody's going to go, I'm going to lose everything anyway. And when it gets to that stage, they'll turn. But
there's a lot of people going around on Liverpool City Centre now saying, look what's going on here. Look what these councils are doing to our city. Look, it's going, and you can tell anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like Liverpool anymore, mate.
But it is.
Never seen nothing like it.
It's a lot further forward with people actually saying stuff rather than they used to not say shit. I mean, I got people now talk to me in the pub that didn't. Right?
Oh, people are fucked off here now, mates. People have fucking had enough. Everyone knows what's going on now.
5 years ago, you talked about any of this shit. You got fucking stopped, and somebody goes, "You're racist. You're a bigot. You're this."
No, I remember talking about it 3 years ago when the COVID thing started. And the same, I was watching yourself. You know what I mean? I was sitting there thinking, "Fucking hell, this is going to happen. This is going to happen." And people call me a dickhead. Then, you know what I mean? But now I tell me mates now, and they're all like, "Oh, shut up! You're off your head, you."
How
right
can start
to see it now? You know what I mean?
How right have you been? All these things that you said, have they happened? Yeah. How right were you?
Yeah, so, everything's happened, hasn't it?
Do you know where?
I mean, don't get me wrong, mate. I'm one of the dickheads who had the fucking jab to go on oldie. Well, so I'm one of them dickheads. So I'll hold my hands up. You know what I mean? But I have to have it to go and see my daughter.
My daughter had to have two, right? So
you saying,
yeah, I'm gutted, but there it is. But that's as much as we can talk about that part because reasons.
Yeah.
However, do you know the history of the saying conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
Right. You know where it came from? Well, I'll educate you,
everybody,
right?
Go on, tell me.
Right. So, remember the JFK assassination?
Yeah.
Right. What happened is there were so many witnesses that said it didn't play out the way it was. And they all started to come forward. And the CIA had to cover up everything. I mean, 200 people met an early death. But it was from that time that people that were speaking out and said, well, I don't believe that it was just one man, and I believe it was the government, or I believe it was this. They coined the term conspiracy theorist and then started pushing it. And it was a way to discredit people who said that, because a conspiracy is two or more people, isn't it, right?
Sort of propaganda, isn't it?
And they're trying to say that there was no way that Lee Harvey Oswald could have done what he did, because, you know, one of the shots for where the actual limo is would have been the other side of a tree that was in full bloom. So you couldn't have even seen the guy, right? That all aside, they were saying that their best people couldn't do the shot within the time allotted, and that was their best people. And Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't a good shot at best, right? And the weapon he was using was shit. But anyway, so they were saying that this couldn't have happened. So the CIA said, well, it's a conspiracy theory. And then it worked out that, well, this works. We can discredit people who are coming out with truths by just calling them conspiracy theorists. So from the 63 onwards, this thing is ramped up and ramped up and ramped up. And so that anytime that you go up against a narrative and go, this doesn't seem right, the maths doesn't add up, or this doesn't seem right, or your evidence doesn't back what you're saying, or whatever it is, you get called a conspiracy theorist. So when we talk about population replacement, okay, and demographic replacement, it's conspiracy theory. When you talk about, say, for instance, the Kalergi plan, conspiracy theory. When you talk about, say, for instance, a group of people running the bank, conspiracy theory. And it just goes on. And what happens, we were all programmed that the moment they said it was a conspiracy theory, you go, oh, fucking wanker, it's a conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we did probably 10 years, maybe more lately, in the last 10 years, not so much now, where we believe that being called, well, you just call somebody a conspiracy theorist, you've won your argument. But that doesn't work anymore.
You've got to listen to it, mate. You've got to listen to what they're saying, is what they're planning. Everything they say on this fligging media, and they say it like it's a joke, and you sit there going, oh yeah, whatever. You know that's going to come in. You know that's in their mind that they're going to do this, because they're all fucking psychos, know what I mean? There's something fucking wrong with them all. And as soon as people start waking up and going, do you know what? Let's fuck these fucking cunts. They'll be all right then.
Do you remember the amount of times that you have people that can think inside the box and they think in black and white? They're like binary, aren't they, right? There's many people like that. It has to follow a pattern to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then it can't exist, right? Because that's the way we were programmed at school. Now, there are people that you get caught thinking outside the box. I'm one of them. There's many more like me, right? But the people inside the box can't work out how you're thinking or how you're coming at something, because they can't process in that way, right? We're not all built the same. So the ones inside the box would call us conspiracy theory because they can't work us out. But when you get proved right again and again and again, it leaves them inside the box more confused about them outside the box. But in the end, they're starting to go, okay.
Oh, they'll wake up when it's too late, mate. And that's the problem, you know what I mean? It'll be too late.
It's going to be close.
Too less people say, well, buzz, to get it on, you know what I mean? That's the problem.
My mate who got me into this, right? He is Asperger's, right? And he thinks inside the box and brutally intelligent, right? But
I've got my brother's sons like that.
But they don't think, they can't, it's not free think. They just can't think the same way we do. So when you come at them, you say, well, actually, I believe this. Nope. And they'll reject it and they'll push back because it doesn't fit in to what they're thinking. But in the end, when you keep being right, they'll end up coming up to you in the same way that I did with them, or him in particular, right? Because I was rejecting all of this stuff he was teaching me in the beginning. I go, no, that's not true. These people aren't in charge. These people don't do this. These people can't be fucking talked about, whatever. And we'd argue. And in the end, I went, because he kept being right. I went, right, just tell me the rest. And it will reverse. And these people who are against conspiracy theorists, you've been right so many times.
No, mate, we've let them be in charge and take the piss for so long. And people are starting to wake up now.
That was our fault for being lazy.
But I think slowly people are starting to see what the fuck is going on.
Also, in the old days,
it's taking time, innit?
In the old days, if you fucking fell out with somebody, you'd have dealt with it differently. We can't say that, right? We've been told that we can't upset people because we'll get prosecuted. We were told we can't touch people because we get prosecuted. And we get to a point where our mouth's gagged and our hands are tied. Well, all of that's being untied now, right? And these people have had 10 years of beating us by calling us names, right? Now that don't work, and they've got no argument. They are slightly, because they've realized that I protected these people that have just ironed fuck out of my cousin or my sister, my mother. I protected these people, and they've come in, they've turned on me. I've gone along with the thing, and it turned out that people have suffered and all of this. And they're probably feeling really shitty, actually. And it's how you handle these people so that you don't turn them against you and you actually bring them back into the folders and say, well, it wasn't your fault, mate. Anyway, if it is what it is, there you are. But this conspiracy stuff is going out the door. And when people actually give up on that shit, you'll say, so they said this. Did it happen? No. Did it fix anything?
Well,
no. Did it make you bad? Yes.
They'll start to realise, like, when you start taking the fucking houses off them and shit like that, they'll fucking soon fucking wake up then, won't they?
Yeah. So when you were rubbing my nose in it about that fucking 450 grand house that you bought, right? And I wasn't doing so fucking well. And now the government are going to hit you with £150,000 fucking surcharge because your house is not up to green spec. Are you feeling cocky now? Remember those countries? Remember you said about Europe being such a great thing and the World Economic Forum being great. These are the cunts that are going to take that house that you've worked so hard
mate,
for off you.
The next 6 months, mate, they're bringing in these fucking little pass fucking things you got to get into fucking Europe. So everyone better fucking wake up very quickly because you'll be going to France if you're lucky.
Fuck going to Europe. It's fucking absolutely riddled with fucking
bad
darts.
A good Europe, mate. I go to the Philippines, mate. Fuck that. Fuck this place off. Go to Asia.
Mate, I'm staying here till the bitter end, unfortunately. I've made a
I don't want to stay here, mate. That's fucking hate it. Do you know what? I love this country, but these bastards have fucking ruined it. And it makes me sick, you know what I mean? Because I grew up in the 70s, and it was like, it was the best days, I think. The 70s, 80s, it was the best. So it was just
you're from Poole,
normal, you know what I mean?
You from Liverpool?
Yeah.
Right. So you remember before, like, because Liverpool had the shit bombed out of it, didn't it?
We had fucking nothing then, mate. We didn't have anything, but it was great.
Yeah, and I mean,
we used to go to town and just fucking run up and down the escalators and rob Star Wars toys. That's all we did.
Reasonable. You know what I mean? If you had a fucking bike, that was all right, and you had to make sure the cunt didn't get nicked. But other than that, you'd be outdoors all fucking day long, right?
Yeah,
you remember nowadays?
None of these mobile phones and all that. We had the magnifying glass in each other's hands and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what used to fucking day.
Get the compass out and fucking, or a knife between the fingers, innit? You're like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, that's all we did.
All right,
no fucking phones and all that shit.
You always had some cunt that told you he could do a tattoo, didn't he? You know what I mean? Just give us something sharp. I'll do a tattoo for you. Fuck off, you little psycho.
He got one. I want one.
Yeah. Fuck.
Them transfers, draw around that, mate. Do it dead hard so it stays in your skin.
Do you remember they used to lick something and then stick it on your hand? Look, I'm gonna get a tattoo. It's not a fucking tattoo.
Yeah, it's a transfer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were great. You thought you were great then, didn't you?
Hubba bubba. Well, that fucking wrap round a hubba bubba. You see, you lick the cunt after this chewing gum had done your jaw in.
Yeah, trying to do the biggest fligging bubbles and all that.
And it got so big, it got stuck in your eye, fucking, oh, your fucking hair. Yeah. Oh, you prick.
And all you wanted to do was play footy and put your coat on the floor as a goal. That was it. That's what we had.
Hey, you speak for yourself. I was fucking shit. Honestly,
you aren't good at football down Gloucester way and all that, and Bristol and all that shit. I mean, don't you
go on, fucking put the boot in. I tell you what, I used to get down the park. I didn't even know what obstruction was. We'd have this doorman running at me, and I'd run at him, and I didn't know you weren't allowed to run head on at somebody because apparently
you used to put you in goal. You get in goal, you.
I was in the back,
goal,
and I used to, I was fucking gash, but I couldn't catch a ball either. So he was in goal, and I was at the back, and this ball used to come back, and I used to boot it. I could kick the cunt, and it'd end up right down the other end. So. Because my nickname used to be Slim because I was really fucking thin back there. It was like, Slim, kick the cunt. You're like,
I remember you were saying about you had the Capri. And I remember when I was fucking, I think it was 16, I was driving down the Dock Road in a fucking Cortina and there was a policeman behind me and I couldn't even fucking drive, mate. I have a fucking clue, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I just carried on going to Crosby Marina and he didn't even stop me and I thought, fucking hell.
Do you remember the Mark III Cortina? My mate had a 2 litre
yeah.
I think it was a GT. I went to change gear between first and second and pulled the cunt off of my hands. Right, I was 14, no, whatever. So we had to stop in the middle of a fucking high street and put this gear stick back in before I could fuck off. And my arsehole was twitching then. I didn't realise the cunt didn't have a license either. Yeah, it was fun. It was innocent fucking fun. Well, it would have been unless we hit somebody. That would have been pretty bad. But yeah, we were pretty naive back then. But hey, better times than now, innit?
Yeah, fucking hell, tell you, that's fucking crazy, you know. Never thought I'd get to this fucking stage of my life. I thought I'd be like going near to my retirement, you know what I mean? Fucking 10 years to go, fucking whatever the fuck it is, and I'll be all right. It's fucked now, isn't it?
I had me doubts that I'd make it this far because I kind of thought that with my fucking antics, I'd have killed myself in an accident or something.
Oh, mate, I built an house in the Philippines with my girlfriend over there, right? And I thought, yeah, I'll be okay. I'll stay here till about 50, 56, and I'll come over there. I'll just last on my money when I sell my house and fucking stay there. It's just all gone to pot, you know what I mean? Don't know what the fucking else to do now. I've got a fucking clue.
Play it by ear. But I always knew that there was no point in me getting a pension. I knew that it was.
Yeah,
no
I don't
point.
think we'll get a pension. That's the worrying thing about it.
Well, it would have even if I paid into the pension, it would have got taken off
I
me
paid
anyway.
into that stupid works pension thing, you know what I mean? I don't even think I'll get that.
My dad worked hard all his life.
I don't understand it, you know what I mean? I don't understand it at all.
But he went under and lost his house and lost a fucking pension and everything. And now he's still working at 74 years old. Fuck that. So
no, I'm not doing it. Do you know what, mate? I'd rather starve to death and be homeless in the fucking sunshine, in the warm,
but you're
be fucking freezing cold on the street here.
See, the thing is, you haven't got to travel. They're offering you starvation here, mate. If you just stay, right? Klaus Schwab's telling you you're going to have fuck all
in the freezing cold here.
I don't know how
these fucking veterans and these homeless do it.
Do you not fancy a plate of bugs? I mean, to be honest, I can't understand why people aren't jumping up and down with joy about that one.
I'd eat some seaweed in the fucking hot sea, you know what I mean?
I haven't been to these nice places. I've got to be honest. I haven't travelled.
And tell you what, mate, you have come to my place. I've got a lovely place on the sea. You know, when you feel like you want to get the
thing is, the part I worry about is I go to one of these places and go, I don't want to come home now. So I just don't go.
See, I don't. You see, I used to when I went to Spain and shit like that. But when I went to the Philippines, because my dad lived there, I thought, fucking hell, the people are lovely, you know what I mean? They're so not like here. You know the way you walk out your door here and they'll say good morning. So you wouldn't get it here. They call you a fucking knobhead if you say good morning to someone here. Over there, everyone, good morning, sir. How are you doing, sir? Are you okay, sir? It's a different fucking world. It's brilliant.
It used to be like this.
It's fucking dead nice.
Wouldn't it be nice to get it back?
Years ago, well, no, I don't think it did actually.
Wow, all right.
Fucking kid, it'll be fuck off your knobhead.
In my local, right, in town, right. Well, we're going in the Western, you could say hello to somebody in the morning, right? And even now in my village, right, you look at them, you go morning, and they're like, oh, morning, because they're expecting you to rip their head off.
You must live in a posh part, though, mustn't you?
I'm Gert Posh, mate. Didn't you know? Gert Posh, right?
You sound posher than me, like.
Well, mate, here's the thing, right? My parents, my mother was part of, if you trace the lineage back, it was like the Tinkers, right, out of Cornwall.
But you must live in a small community. Obviously.
I do at the moment. I moved out of Western. I've just gone back there, right? So I'm only on the outskirts. But I went
they're
back.
The best places, aren't they?
Fuck me. You want to see Western now, mate? It's like fucking Beirut. Shit. But
I'm a truck driver like yourself, you know what I mean? So I go everywhere, like, so I know where you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I'm near Thatcher's. So if you've ever picked up from Thatcher's, you'll know where that is. But
no.
Anyway, it's they're all still white here, all right? And admittedly, as they're middle class and a bit up their own ass and, you know, try not to acknowledge each other too much, when you go to the shop, people will say hello. And if you walk down the road and you go, morning or whatever, they're like, oh, hello. Yeah. And they're, because they're so used to living in their own bubble because of that lockdown shit. And that did fuck people's social skills quite hard. However, I do like to say hello to people that seem nice enough. But yeah. I mean,
Simon, do you watch much of that Mark Steele?
No. Who is Mark Steele?
You want to get on to him on Telegram, Mark Steele? He's part of Save Us Now, part of the 5G thing and all that stuff. Don't want to wreck your channel. Like,
yeah, I get it. Well, send us a link, basically, and I'll go and have
I don't know how you do that. How do you do that? I'm not into all this techie stuff.
You're gonna have to get on Discord. Let me tell you, right? There's a community of us.
I'm on Discord. I'm on your Discord.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to explain to people Discord. When you go in there, right, the church notice is where you can post videos and stuff like that. Then you've got the news and videos ideas, which you can't post in. That's for me. Sorry. So right, you've got the news within the parish. I had to put it like that, right? Then you've got world news. Okay, we got funny shit. Now, if you came into chat, you've got voice channels.
Yeah, being on that.
Right, so congregation, that's the one you click on. And you've got to make sure that you've either got a mobile phone, right? Now, if you can do speakerphone on your mobile phone, like a normal call come in, then it will work on Discord, right? Just make sure you're not muted, because sometimes you'll be muted. But just check you haven't got a microphone with a fucking line through it. Like there's somebody in there at the moment, full stop. He's in there and he's got a line through his microphone, which means he's muted. And all you can do is you go in there. I'm in there most of the week anyway, speaking to people, just have a chat with us. And then obviously post
everyone needs to get onto it, mate, to see what's going on. But that Mark Steele, he's qualified. Like, I mean, that's all I'll say.
No worries. Well, anyway, bud, what I'm going to do is see if we can go to the next one. And
Simon, great speaking to you, mate, and you take care.
All right, mate, you take it steady. All right.
Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra, everyone. Bye.
How are we doing here? Discord link there, right? I was a bit drunk last time, but it was a joke because all the other last time. Right, okay, we've got a call here. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello.
Hello,
Oh my goodness, have I got on?
Have
I got on the show?
You may well be on the show, just a little bit, yes.
Excellent. That's great news. Hello, I'm Lindsay and I'm from Northumberland. And the reason I'm calling in is because I've been out in Newcastle today and I saw the Free Plasticine March all happening at the monument there in Newcastle. And I just need to sort of tell people about how I've witnessed two-tier policing with my very own eyes over the past, I would say, 4 years now. So when like lockdown and everything all kicked off, I was sort of a lone wolf, kind of by myself, thinking, oh my God, what's going on? Found some sort of friends on the internet and we arranged to have a protest in the middle of Newcastle. And it must have been like March, like 2020 probably. So I was meeting these people who I didn't know outside Burger King. Right, come on, let's go and all meet outside the monument in Newcastle. That's kind of the place where anybody would ever have a protest. And I have never seen so many coppers in my life, not even on a match day, anything, because they'd got wind of us obviously going to have a protest. There must have only been about 30 or 50 of us.
So it was a protest that you didn't agree with the police? Because sometimes apparently you've got to agree it with them and then they can obviously pre-plan how they're going to kettle you and fuck you over.
Well, yeah, exactly that. But I mean, I was a little bit naive, I think, because I didn't really know anything about that. And then when we got there, there was the TSG were all there. There was like about 8 meat wagons, everything. We were not allowed, we couldn't have, if we'd stood 2 people together, they were going to arrest us. We weren't allowed to stand still. You had to keep walking round and round and round and round.
What a load, isn't it?
Anyway, so we just kind of abandoned it. And that was that. The very next day, this was on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday, there was a massive BLM protest in the same place that we had tried to gather the day before. And I was a bit like, whoa, what's going on here? So sort of I've been involved with the anti-lockdown, all of that sort of stuff. And recently I've been involved with Kelly J. Keane, do you know Kelly J. Keane, Cozy Corker? I've gone to quite a few of the Standing for Women rallies. So I've gone to them, and these are all middle-aged menopausal women. I've seen
a few of those,
nothing. We're not intimidating, anything like that. It's literally women standing, taking turns speaking about how all of this sort of trans ideology is affecting our lives and stuff. And counter-protesters would be allowed to be really, really close, shouting, screaming,
intimidating,
screaming Nazi in your face and everything. I was in Liverpool on the 8th of October for a Standing for Women one. Obviously, what happened on the 7th of October, and there was the Labour Party conference there at the same time. So there was lots of sort of socialist worker types as well as the sort of trans rights activists. And normally a counter protest will be held like far, far away from the protest. But the Liverpool police let these people be literally right next to us. Like I had people screaming Nazi, bigot, everything in my face. Like they were booing. There was a Jewish woman speaking. They were booing and everything. And it was just like, what are the police doing? Why are they doing this? And I've just been out in Newcastle today, just out with my friends, not protesting or anything, just out with my old school friends. and the whole of the monument was taken over with Free Palestine. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, because there was no counter protest, and I believe that if anybody had tried to counter protest, they would have just been bundled into a van
and whisked
straight
away.
away.
Yeah. Well, they do.
We have got two-tier policing. It's like, you know, you hear about it on GV News, you hear about it on all of these channels and stuff. I've seen it with my very own eyes for the past 4 years, and I feel like I'm living in a parallel universe.
You're in the
everybody
minority
else.
there at that time, right? If you went back in the old days, right? Say, for instance, in Northern Ireland, there'd have been a massive IRA rally or whatever you want to call it, right? If you'd have gone there, 3 or 4 of you as a loyalist, you'd have got arrested, because it's easier than dealing with the IRA. What you've got to understand is you're in the minority when you're up there, and you're going to get the preferred, the latest thing, whatever you want to call it, right? These people, they'll protect them because there's too many of them. I mean, the plasticine lot, they're backed by the Islam. Now, Islam is predominantly... I
believe in Liverpool, we were in the minority, though. We were like a little penned, we were in a pen.
Which means they're gonna get rid of you because you're easier to handle than the other ones where there's more of them.
Yeah, but they were within their rights to counter protest. Like when we're saying to the police, like, why are they so close? Why are you letting them come so close? They're all within their right. It depends what it is.
If you had 6,000 of you, if you had 6,000 of you with a load of hairy ass bikers like looking after you, all of a sudden the counter protest would have needed a police guard between them and you. Because that's how it works.
A load of them that counter protested the BLM marches in Newcastle are in jail now. They're in jail. They jailed about 20 of them who counter protested. Not the particular one I was at, but it was when they were pulling the statues and everything down. And then sort of Tommy did a whole call to arms, protect your statues and everything. And I know that there was bikers, and there are people in jail now that were sort of done that. It's not. I know what you're saying about the Northern Ireland thing and the numbers. I don't. It's not that. It's the cause. It's whether it's a state sanctioned thing to protest
there is
about.
That to take into account as well, right? So sometimes it's take away the people who are right because there's too many of the wrong there to deal with, right? It's cowardice, right, from the police. Sometimes it's political policing as well, and sometimes it's both.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, I was in his little cap like that, and I'm going, oh yeah, I remember when you wouldn't let us stop this, and you're letting this go on. What's this got to do with effing Newcastle, man? Match day today in Newcastle, you could definitely sense the sort of grumbling between the lads walking, because that's on the way to the St James's Park for a lot of people. But none of them were brave enough to shout or gather or do anything. Obviously, they were going to the match, and that was their aim. I want it to stop. I've had enough, Simon.
Don't blame me, love. I'm sure, to be honest, this isn't ever going to stop unless you put up more force than the opposition. So
how's that going to? How are we going to make that happen? Because I really have had enough. Like, I am ready to smash shit up. And I'm
right. You didn't say that. All right. Okay. Stop.
Okay, I didn't.
No.
Okay.
Right. Allegedly. Listen, it's not something that I could advise or talk about on here.
Okay. Yes. Don't say that. Don't say all those bits out loud. But it's just. I just feel like I want to shake people awake.
These live streams usually get, in the long run, about 13,000 people watching. Right. We've got 1,300 people watching between the few channels. Plus, we've got YouTube.
Hello,
plus, we've got Twitter.
Everybody, if you know me.
So we got to watch what we say. All right.
Okay. Sorry. I'm also like the guy before you was talking about the chibber. I won't talk about that because that's what I was out protesting. A lot of that when they were going to do it for the kids and the NHS, and it worked because the big protest in London, and then on the Monday morning they suddenly stopped the what's the right word I should use?
Think about it.
All right, you wouldn't get your job or something like that.
Right, okay.
So yeah, I know I'm probably preaching to the converted for everybody that speaks on here, but it's real, it's true. There is two-tier policing in this country. end of.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I've seen it with my own eyes too many times, and I've had enough.
I can't say I blame you. Right.
I do really enjoy watching your live streams and stuff, but I've had a couple of drinks tonight, and I was like, right, I'm going to ring and ring and ring
I'm
and
gonna
get
do
on
it.
just to tell
That's
them
it.
what I've seen
Yeah,
today.
no worries. Right, well, what we'll do is I'm going to go on for a little while, and then I might look to stream raid somebody. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, my love,
Okay.
I will say thank you very much for
Okay.
calling in. And
All right, all the best.
all right, I'll see you in a bit.
Everybody, lots of love. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Fuck me, these phone lines are flat out. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Not too bad.
What is it you want to talk about? Then?
Right. It's not on the news yet,
Okay.
but I don't know if you've heard that yesterday at nearly 5 p.m, 2 scooters were being driven through London the same way that guy used that attack on that woman. Shotgun were used, and one of the bikes got rammed, but they managed to get away. Now, they've not mentioned who the guys are. So I'm suspecting that they're probably Eastern.
Right. Okay. So if they've not named,
you know,
or they don't describe them, you've
no,
already...
they've not done nothing. I reckon they've not mentioned it on the news. It's not on BBC. It's not on CNN. It's not on nowhere. I heard from an independent news anchor this, and he reckons that they're going to go away, discuss it, and not reveal who it was like they did last time. That body that were found in the canal, I don't think it was him either. It's the same type of people, I think, that was on the scooters. And yet they're not doing nothing. Now, if it were a white guy, yeah, it'd be all over the papers. All over the papers. I think that most of the governments around the world, all of them, are into the same thing. They're there to control the people, but yeah, they make it look like that they're against this and they're against that. I don't think it's wrong to have an opinion on what are they doing in this country. They should be out.
Have you seen how they make it fashionable now to be literally covered head to foot and just your eyes? So these kids are going around like all fully masked up thinking it was gangster. But it is playing into the fact that you don't know who the fuck is doing whatever. And they do it so they can actually be criminals and get away with it. So you have a load of people on
pick on white people.
Yeah, well, it's a fashionable thing to do, it seems, at the moment.
No, it's racist. It's racist. And God,
yeah.
How can they point their finger at other people when they're being racist themselves?
Because you don't get any rights because you're white.
Racism is still racism.
Oh, no, apparently. You can't be racist to a white person, apparently, according to their bullshit. I'm playing devil's advocate because obviously that's not true, but
I've heard other
racism
races being racist. I went to Ecuador. I lived in Ecuador for 2 years, and then I went to Australia for 2 years. And believe me, I've seen other races being racist to my face, and I don't care what the government say. Racism is racism. Right, and at the end of the day, if they're going to point the finger, Ford's going to be pointing back at them.
But you can be racist to somebody if you hate them for the color of their skin, or from the country they're from. Right, that's racism. And then you got other types of prejudice, and you got bigotry, etc., etc. But if you don't like me purely because of the color of my skin, that's racist, right? But if
I don't like somebody because of their actions.
Oh no, but
that's what I don't like.
Yeah, look, not liking somebody because of the way they act is a natural response, right? So if somebody's a cunt, you don't like them because they're a cunt. Now, if somebody's nice, you like them because they're nice. Have you noticed that on some of these YouTube channels, the drama ones, these people don't have the ability to make content and have fun, right? And to attract views and attract content and attract people, right? So what they do is they become obnoxious and they attack each other, and that will get them a set amount of views, but that's it. But some attention is better than no attention. Now, these same sort of people, you get a lot of people, like say for instance on the left, right? They want to point the finger at everybody and go, you are this, you're say for me, You're an Islamophobe, you're a homophobe, you're a this phobe. You pick out all the phobes, and you're racist against black people because, or you're racist against Indian people because, or you're racist because what? What? Because I point out facts. Yeah, it's racist. No, the facts. No, it's racist. No, you can't understand common sense. A fact is a fact is a fact. It is built in an equation. It is built out of common sense. It is built out of data. It's not built out of feelings. So take the feelings away from something. And when something says that this is a numerical obviousness, this is going to happen, right, or whatever, it's not racism. It's literally data. And if you think data is racist, you're fucked in the head. But this is where we are.
Well, it's just a way of trying to shut people down. That's all it is. They'll try and find any excuse to shut people's down in opinion. And what right they've got given, you're right by God to determine what's right for yourself. As long as you don't harm anyone or go, murder loads of people, and you treat people how you want to be treated yourself, why should you allow somebody else to attack you when you're treating them decently? No. That's when you have a God-given right to defend yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't go out killing, but if someone attacks you, you defend yourself. And if someone would come up to me and try and attack me from a different race,
steady,
I'm obviously going to punch him, aren't I?
Steady, right?
No, I'm just saying it's normal reaction. Someone attacks you, you defend yourself.
Right. Defense is fine, but obviously we've got to word it right on here because otherwise we get sacked, bend off. Ended.
Well, have you not heard they're trying to ban dogs, they're trying to ban crossbows, they're trying to ban this, that, the other. You know why? Because they don't want you to defend yourself. So it's okay, I'll just put myself on a slab and let you kill me.
Well, they don't want you to do that because your organs are more useful to them. But yeah. Yeah, I mean we have to play within the rules of this thing at the moment. We don't have to think.
No, I'm not encouraging people to go out and do stuff. What I'm saying is, if you get attacked, defend yourself. It's a normal, natural thing.
You'd be insane not to protect yourself, right? That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't protect yourself, but you also owe it to yourself to think, do I actually need to go to this place? Is this a good idea? Am I going to be on my own? What are the odds of me coming into bad times, right? These are the way you got to think now. Do not put yourself in a position of danger, especially if you're not somebody who's got a predisposition to be able to look after themselves. I mean, some people are naturally more able to look after themselves than others. If you're a woman who's not very strong, or if you're a man who's not very strong, do not put yourself in a position that will get you in harm.
Exactly. Well, you see, I'm a prepper. I've already prepped, right, everything that I've got. I'm leaving my place in a month because everything's going up in April. Your taxes going up, your electric's going up, everything's going up, right? So I can't afford to live here anymore. So I took 3 years to prep everything. If I'm outside on my own, right, while I'm traveling around the UK, if I get attacked, I'm going to defend myself. As long as I can, get them away from me and warn them and say, look, don't come near me. What are you doing? Are you insane? Some people won't even do that. They'll just attack you. I've heard people walking down the street being slapped around the head.
What's your plan then? Is your plan just to take a backpack and...
It's a bit more than a backpack, but
because I've got
everything in there. Fishing rods, crawfish catcher. I've just bought my fishing license, which is a game license, which is 70 odd quid for the year. That allows me to fish for salmon, carp, you name it. The crawfish catcher, you do a bit of research. You got two native species, a native species and an invasive species here, right?
Mm.
So the American species is a lot bigger. It's got red and black claws. But your normal crawfish, your native, is really small. So they expect you, when you catch crawfish, you put the small ones back, which are your native, and you keep the invasive, and you can eat them by law, right? Having a catapult, kill squirrels or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Squirrels are vermin.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you cook them, they're right. Skin them and cook them right, you're right. But people don't understand. The problems are going to be in the cities. Now they're starting to spread to the towns. A lot of people don't even do research. You do know there's 300 wild leopards and pumas in the wild in Britain, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I'm thinking, well, what if one of them attacks me? You know, how am I supposed to defend myself? The catapult's not going to do it. I'll tell you that now.
Are you planning to live under the trees and stuff like that and travel around?
Yeah, I know quite a lot of people in the UK, so I can visit, maybe spend the night, but I've got farming experience, but now the farmers are having problems, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta, for me, I'm not going to work for money. I'm not going to work for money. It's going to be the barter system for me. I'm going to say, feed me, let me stay on your land. I've got a fishing license, let me fish in your river. I'll do some work. Let me have that tyre for that bike, my bike. You know, I'll negotiate that way. Therefore, what can the government say? Oh, did you get money?
I'm sure they'll come up with a reason not to like you. Anyway, my old mate, there's a lot of people trying to get in, so I'm going to get off.
Yeah,
but you call in again, all right?
Have a good one, sir.
All right, mate, you take steady. See you in a bit, mate. I need to go to the pee. I was going to say I would have got on the Sheikh of London, but I think he's doing his own live stream at the moment, so maybe not. Oh, we got a caller again. Oh, where's this? Landline. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Very well. Is that you, Simon? I'm speaking to? Yes.
It is indeed. How are you, my dear?
I'm very well. We had a conversation a wee while ago now, a couple of months ago, about the hoochie coochie juice. Remember? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was phoning up tonight because I wanted to try and get a bit off my chest and a bit of a rant about these hate speech laws,
right?
And just to see how other people are thinking about it as well. And I've sort of been paying attention to these things that people have been prosecuted unreasonably and all that. And I'm thinking to myself, what would I do if that was me? You know, I think to myself, I'm not a public figure or blogger or anything like that, so it's probably not going to affect me, right? But then you think to yourself, well, I heard locally a woman that works locally here lost her job because she was sharing a joke privately with a workmate, and somebody overheard it and didn't like what she was saying, and as a result of that, she lost her job. And you think to yourself, that could happen to me. You could just be in a shop or something like that, and you've got these stop police people kind of tuning into your conversation and thinking, I don't like what they're saying, so therefore I'm going to, you know, get the police involved and all that. So you think to yourself, if that happened to me, I would just use my logic and my, you know, my brain to argue my way out of it, to discuss my way out of it. And then when you look into it more, you start to realise that there's a lot more verbally, you know, skillful people than me, backed up with lawyers in these courts who are losing these arguments, and it's basically coming down to language and logic as far as I'm concerned. So what seems to be happening is you've got these judges and justices, these people handing down these kind of, for me it's in the realm of, you know, right out of Big Brother. If I tell you 2 and 2 is 5 and 2 and 2 is 5, you know, that's the logic that they're using. To me, there's no other way of logic to it. And the thing is, as well, is you think to yourself, well, you're really being denied. People say, oh, we're getting free speech taken off us, and we're getting democracy taken off us because of these hate speech laws. But for me, it's about much, much more than that. It's about you denying your natural born right as a human being to exercise your mentality, your brain, your speech, your thoughts. I mean, that's what's really going on. And they're getting control of the language. Now, there are people like us, and myself included, when these things are happening to us, these unreasonable hate speech laws and things, our response tends to be, they're just a bunch of F and C's, you know, and they're a bunch of F and C's, this and that and the other. And I thought, you know what, that's just really not good enough. We've really got to come up to the challenge of meeting these people with a language, you know. But if you've got the people who exercise authority over the language in the land, i.e. your justices and your judges, these people need to be highlighted, because it's all trickling down from them in the end, because in the end, they're the people who are enforcing these laws. The politicians, okay, are legislating, but they tend to put the legislation in vague terms so it can pass. But it's these judges and justices who are inflicting all this absolute mind, F-U-C-K, is the only way I can put it.
Do you believe that they know what they're doing is wrong?
Yeah, they know the references, you know. So we need to start coming up, from my point of view, I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking, you know, there's a lot better people than me have fought these things and lost, you know. So, I mean, we need to start coming up with a lot more creative ways of dealing with this other than just order a bunch of F and C's. You know, I don't have the answers myself, even though I've been thinking hard about it. And I just don't know how we're going to address this. But basically, it's coming down to language and a challenge of language. I think they're taking our language, our ability to think off us. That's what's happening. And we need to get that back up. And these justices and judges, they all need to be highlighted for what they're doing. They're not exercising logic or any kind of thing that law is supposed to be based on, logic and reasoning. That's kind of the conclusion I've come to about it. So I don't know how other people think, you know.
I believe that basically at some point, when the pendulum swings back the other way, these people that have done these terrible things need to be brought to justice and made an example of.
But they won't be made an example or brought to justice because they're in control of the justice system.
Well, there's somebody that's controlling them.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's kind of getting into the realm of we don't know who's doing what, you know. And that's not going to help us. We need to start getting back control of the language again, and how we do that is your channel's good for that, Simon, you know.
I mean, to be honest, these people are controlled by people way above, right? And these people, if you imagine you're some sort of judge or whatever, and you follow the system, you do what the system says for long enough, you know, eventually you're going to get a knighthood out of it. You're going to get this out of it. You're going to get literally financially rewarded so well that sell your soul and you will be rich. And half of them don't believe in, like, you know, God. They don't believe that they think that when they die, that's it, game over. So who cares what I do on earth now, just as long as I get as much as I can, and that's it. So they sell the soul.
Yeah. No, I'm not looking at it at all from that point of view, that they're motivated by, you know, more money, more gain. I don't see that at all. I just really see it as about some kind of, the only words I can come up with is mind fuck. Really, that's what they're doing.
Mind fuck's beautiful. Yeah.
They're keeping control of the language, you know. And as you say, who's authorising them from higher up? I don't know about that, but you know, that's why I'm having a rant, really, because I just cannot get my head around what's going on with it and how defenceless you are in the face of it if somebody decides that they're going to start prosecuting you for something, that kind of nonsense, you know. So it's just to see how other people think about it.
Well,
I mean, it's kind of getting back to the days of the witch trials, isn't it? If I say you're a witch, you're a witch.
Yeah, but we're the fucking witches at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah.
Fucking yeah. I mean, just feels like why are we the ones being persecuted when we're the ones that just talking common sense? Why? And it seems that common sense is going to get in the way of evil deeds or whatever you want to call it. So these people, they'll use every power that they've got to stop normal people speaking out so they can achieve their goals, their aims, or whatever it is. So it's shit. But here we are.
I know. The thing is, as well, it seems like we all keep going round in this circle, Simon, that there are a bunch of F and C's, that it's evil and all that. To my point of view, the way I'm thinking about it at the moment, it's just not enough. Like, we need to get much stronger, more articulate arguments going for these things, you know. Another thing, Simon, just to finish up, I've noticed over the last few weeks as well that quite a few of your callers have been, you know, feeling a bit depressed and a bit down in that. It seems to be a kind of theme with a lot of people. And I think that's why, because people know they're getting their minds done over, you know, by all this nonsense. And that must make people depressed and despaired as well, you know. So anyway, that was just a wee rant.
No worries, lovely. Well, you get it off your plate. They like your accent as well. So it's
okay.
and yeah, there are a lot of people that like what you were saying. So It's all good. Now
Good one.
I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do, because at the moment I need to go to the lab and I can't just leave a blank screen and I'm on the wrong computer. So I might have to just wind the stream up so that I can go to the lab, because I can't leave it as blank. But anyway, that's not your problems. If my computer was working all right, no worries, lovely. You call in again, all right?
I will do.
All right.
Soon. Bye.
Cheers,
bye.
everybody. This is probably a time that not having it would have been sober would have been a great idea to call in, but whatever. Rev. Yeah, Luke. Yes, Luke. I wonder if I can just. I tell you what, we're going to do. No, we're not doing that. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? Can you hear me all right?
Hello.
Hello.
Who's speaking?
Oh, God. Fuck that. Right. Tell you what, 2 seconds. I'm going for a piss. Simple as. I'll see you in a minute. Thank God for that. Needed that more than you can fucking know. Right, let's see if we can get this one. Hello.
Oh, hello, Simon.
How you doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. Are you doing well yourself?
I am now. Just been for a pee. I needed that more than you can believe. I'm having technical issues. I had the computer wiped, and it was all well and good. Then we installed some stuff, and I think that the computer did an update, and since that update, it's been a bag of shit. So I'm gonna have to get Pete to come back round and have a look at it. But it was working fine up until that point, but it forced an update, which it shouldn't have done. But anyway, so at the moment I'm working off that computer over there, which is why I can't see that much, and I'm having a bit of trouble. But we're carrying on anyway. So what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm not too bad actually. I'm having a nice evening at home with the family and that, so just relaxing. And I've been listening. My missus has been watching Netflix whilst I've been listening to you. So
yeah, I was going to say I wasn't expecting. No disrespect, I wasn't expecting the wife to be watching this. But mind you, some people's misses do watch this stuff. Poor bastards. But do you know? I've noticed actually the demographic of women watching now is going up. So that's a good thing.
They're beginning to wake up.
Yeah,
they're beginning to wake up. I think my missus got a bit bored of me a few years ago when I was telling her. Well, I started getting a bit more aware of our surroundings and what's going on. Coming up to the Brexit vote, I started realising it was all a load of tosh. I think just before then, I realised about Tommy, and now Tommy was actually just harmless. He's a harmless bloke, and I started to, get the grips with these things. But obviously, if you've got a wife or whatever and stuff like that, you can't help but talk about these things. I think I bored her to death. So, yeah.
So, do you think your missus will ever come round to your way of thinking properly?
I think what she's at that stage. You know, that stage that that many of us were at, where we know something's up, we don't want to acknowledge it, because if we do, everything comes crashing down.
Head in the
She's
sand.
at that
It's
stage.
head in the sand moment, because my entire life, once the moment I recognize it, my entire life has to change, and I don't want it to. It's a bit like, you know, when the dog just digs in and doesn't want to go for the walk anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there are many people, if I just sit on my ass now and dig in, then I haven't got to accept it, and therefore but it's going to happen anyway. It's like asking the world to stop turning, isn't it? It will do it regardless. And
yeah, I mean, it's crazy, because we're all, once you start noticing one or two things, everything else just falls away, and you start noticing everything. And I think that when you point these things out, especially to your loved ones, your family, your friends, and stuff like that, at first you get a lot of pushback, a hell of a lot of pushback, because they don't want to believe that it's true. It's like, say it ain't so, sort of thing, you know.
Say the king isn't slain, but the king is still slain. So
Exactly.
This is the reason, and this is going to cause some upset. This is the reason why women are not best suited to politics. They're better suited to other things. There are some good politicians that are female, but generally speaking, on the whole, then if women hadn't been given the vote, right, blokes would have voted a lot harsh or more harsh. Right. So I've just been told I can't even look at the, by the way, so I'm looking at the camera, which is here, and the chat's over there. So I can't even see who's in the fucking chat, which is a pain in the git. Hello, Paz. I hear you're in the chat. If you're not subscribed to Paz's channel, why not? So go and subscribe. I'm sure somebody will throw the link up in a minute. But yeah, so what part of the world are you in at the moment? Are you local to me, or are you near London, or where are you based?
No. I'm in Essex.
And how are you finding the demographics changing there?
Oh well, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I've noticed the creep, because you see, originally I'm from North London, and I grew up in a very multi-culti society sort of thing. I went off to the army, travelled around a bit. Never. Once you leave London and you join the forces or something, most people don't want to go back to London, because you realise you're not like those people anymore.
Right.
And you start realising that people from around the UK, you find that they're better, because you get on with them better. It's like I used to live down in the southwest, because my last posting was down in Warminster.
I know the
lived
barracks.
in Bristol.
Yeah.
Is
that near Nook?
So,
is that Nook? There's one down there called Nook, isn't it?
Not, it's not a million miles away, because you've got Middle Wallop and all that down that way.
They've got some fucked up names down there, haven't they? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like Radstock and all that places. Yeah. And it's a beautiful part of the world. I'd still be down there, but you know, there's a lack of the houses cost a ton down there, but there's a lack of jobs, you know, to pay for the houses, so it's not really good. But but the demographic change down this way, it's really picked up. It's like all of a sudden, like because I moved house during COVID, because I wanted to live out in a bit of a nicer area, but with just more people like me, you know. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm
you're just more predisposed to being attracted to people who look similar to you than others. That's called
exactly.
There's a name for that, and it's been called tribal. Right now, everybody else is tribal. Why do you think that blacks move into areas where there's predominantly more blacks? Why do you think that Indians move to areas there's predominantly more Indians? They feel more comfortable and more safe and secure in and around people who are similar to themselves. It's human nature.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I moved out this way, and I was expecting it to be like the same. And I got my son into the local rugby club, and I've got, you know, and I've made a few friends. We've got some, actually, I've got some, our next door neighbours are Portuguese, lovely people. They moved out here for the same reason. They moved out here for the same reason that they want to live in England. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, and it was all going well, and then slowly but surely, like a couple of families moved out this way. A couple of people that have no business. When I say no business being here, to live here, you pay a little bit extra to pay the rents and buy the houses out here.
Ragnar just said in-group preference, by the way. But sorry, carry on.
Yeah. Well, the only way you can move out here, if you're from where they've come from,
right,
is you're getting subsidies. And I wasn't aware of this, but there, well, I can remember when we left North London when I was growing up, they would pay you to leave a council house.
Pay you?
But these people are getting they would pay you.
Right. Can we go into a little bit of detail in there? Because obviously I'm not going to be aware of any of this, right? So you're living in North London, right?
Yeah.
And what is it? They're encouraging you to move away from North London to another place, to another council house?
No. What it is they'll pay you up to, I think at the time was about £30,000
How much?
give up your council property. 30,000.
Right.
That was so then basically it was like they do this they still do this, but I don't think it's as much. But what they do is, the idea is that it's the extra kick, so you go and buy a place or go rent in one of the home counties or something,
Right. Can I ask a conspiracy theory idea here?
Yeah.
Right. You've been in that property for a while, paying a rent, which is much lower than, say, for instance, it would have been, say, for instance, if I go to a private landlord, right?
Yeah.
Now, by paying you off to fuck off, they then hoik the rent up for that. It goes through what they call it, a management firm or whatever it is. They then get people who have been put in there by the government, right? They're in there on top money, right? That money's going to the housing association or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I'm a massive company and I buy up all these fucking properties, right? Somebody in the government's getting a backhander on this one, right? You get tipped up and fucked off to go to somewhere else. Oh, it's all about bigging you up and all the rest of it. Then we get a load of dodgy demographics come in that get fucking that house, and the taxpayer picks up the bill, which is probably £1,600 a month, whereas you were paying £400 a month or something like that. Am I somewhere near?
Exactly. Yeah, you are definitely right. You're in the right area there.
Fuck me.
But what it is now is, because obviously London's full. Well, London's full to a point. They started to knock down all the old council properties, all the tower blocks, because most of them were riddled with asbestos and everything else. So now they've got all the big apartments going up, and I think most of them, especially in East London, they're like minimum £600,000 if you want a decent one. Normal people can't afford that.
No, right.
And even the people, that are coming here, they can't afford it. So now,
no, but they're never supposed to have a house. Do you remember we're not meant to have houses, are we?
No, they're not.
So they've the neutral reservation are following the plan. They're in accommodation supplied by the state, as long as they do the state's bidding, whatever that fucking is. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
I didn't realize they were doing this, by the way. So this is an education.
Yes.
This is why these call-ins are so important, because you learn so much from other people that you just don't fucking know. I'm amazed.
Yeah, well, we need to talk. We all need to talk, and I think because there's no real way that we can organise and talk that's allowed.
Can I ask you a question? This is historical, right? So Margaret Thatcher gave people the right to buy, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, that got a lot of people onto the property ladder that wouldn't have otherwise got on there. But those houses were put up for people who couldn't afford decent rent, so that they could rent.
Yes.
So while they got people on the property ladder, was that a good thing? Or was keeping that housing there so that people could get a council house that needed a council house? It's a kind of double-edged sword, but we ended up without enough housing, didn't we? And when you import people, I don't know if you've noticed that there's houses going up everywhere. Who makes out of this? Because we lose our countryside, right? But it seems
we do.
The developers are owned by big companies, right, that are friends with the friends.
Yes.
The people that lend the money are bankers, and we know what they are, right? Now, you always make sure there's never enough properties, so the house prices are high, so that house that went up, you'll buy for, say, for instance, I'm going to make a figure up here, 400 grand. But if there was enough properties for everybody, that house would be worth 200 grand. And this system is created by them all the time.
Yeah, well, where I am, it's a semi-rural location. I mean, we're surrounded by farmland and stuff like that.
For now.
And it's a little, it's a little town. But actually, funny you should say that. Because of now they're talking about building more houses and everything. There's been quite a bit of protest by the locals around here because they're building in natural areas of beauty and all that. You know, places that have been unsullied for a long time. But now, you know, suddenly they're finding the motivation, the will to build on these places where most of the people around here have struggled to get planning permission for extensions on their properties for decades. But now they can build whole new developments in farmers' fields. We were once told it was green, green belt.
It's green belt until they want it to be brown belt. When it's brown belt, all of a sudden it becomes building. All right.
Exactly.
But it was when it suits them, and the rewilding after farmers' places. I mean, I've seen it myself because obviously I take the soil out of these places where they're digging the footings out of, or we go into places that used to be swampland and now we're building them up, right? So all of these building places that they build in normal, right, non-flooding areas, right? What they do is you take the soil out of that, it's got to go somewhere. So they now go, what we're going to do, right, is if you want to build on this shit land, you've got to bring it up 2 meters. They've now found a place for you to get rid of it because there's a load of old quarries, and once they've taken all the stone out of there, they backfill it with all of this spoil throughout the footings and stuff.
Yeah,
mud mixed with rock. It's called muck, right? It's just useless shit.
Yeah.
And what they do is they backfill these quarries back in, which it's a good thing, and you can, everybody makes money. That is. But at the moment, they're building all over the Greenbelt because obviously they're running the place full of fucking immigrants and whatever, and they need places, and these people are breeding like fuck, and they need housing for them, obviously. So and we pick up that, and also these houses they're knocking up are shit. They're fucking shit.
No, they are. They're boxes.
Right.
Have you seen them? They're boxes. They're,
I watched them. I watched them from nothing being built, and I'm like, that. And this is the worst thing, right? They're building them to fail, and this is not a conspiracy, right? Yeah. Say, for instance, this ground has been there for undisturbed for however long. When you dig down a footing, and then you put the concrete down, and then you put the blocks on top, and you build the house, right? That land shouldn't settle because it's been there forever. All of this, right?
Yes.
When you build it up 2 meters and then you skim off the top and then you dig down a bit more, right? That's only been there 6 months, 12 months, right? Because we do this. We put soil in somewhere, we build it up all this lot, and then they take a load off and whatever. That's going to fucking settle and crack and fuck up. And within, I don't know, somebody's called it shuttering. When we put a house up that quick, this won't last long. And then it'll fucking. And I'm fairly sure they're doing it so that you've got to rebuild these houses again and again and again.
Yeah, well, that's where you get your subsidence and everything that comes in, and then
engineered subsidence.
Years later, and then years later, obviously, you can't get insurance on the property, and then the house is worth next to nothing. I mean, we're talking the way that it seems to go, and it seems almost like, say, planned 10, 20, 30 years, then you're gonna give up whatever the property is, because you see that especially in places like Norfolk. When you get the coastal areas with the coastal erosion, they knew that land was going in. They knew, and they still allowed people to buy houses down. But you know what I mean? It's
the thing is,
get
right,
the money.
You know these houses that weren't on the floodplain. What they've done is we've put in next to these houses. They've raised up the land. And
Yeah.
now the runoff from there will end up flooding the houses that weren't originally in the floodplain, because the land that was built on to make these new houses was the runoff, right? And we got a problem, say, for instance, in where I am, there's an old railway line, and the river actually goes under the bridge, not in the middle of the bridge, but actually under, not the river, the drainage goes under the actual building of the bridge. So they're going to have to knock this down, because at the moment, because now there's 2,000 new houses, so the village is doubled, basically, the drainage can't cope. And what it does is they fix it, and then it literally lifts the ground up, right? And the water's pissing out of there. And they fixed it 3 times in the last year, and it'll happen again and again and again and again. And they'll actually have to take down the bridge, because the drainage goes underneath the actual building of the bridge. So great stuff.
It is engineered. It does feel like it's engineered, but like
it is engineered.
I mean, what can we do?
Well,
until
we can take back control of this country, right? But here's the thing, right? You know that we had some pretty miserable council estates, right? Didn't we, back in the day, right?
Yeah.
They stayed up,
we did,
but they're pretty miserable. What I would suggest is, when we take, well, this is all fantasy, by the way, so just bear with. When we actually eventually take back control, and a lot of these people depart this country because it's not for them, i.e., there's no free stuff anymore, right?
Yeah.
We will end up with a load of excess housing. What are you going to do? Just park it up?
Yes.
Or do you look at the potential and go, well, these new houses are actually well built, and those old houses that people lived in at the time are pretty fucking miserable. Do they want to relocate? And here's the thing: we can have all these new houses. You see all these homeless fuckers? Get in there, son.
Yes.
In you go.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there was a point you said earlier. I heard earlier on. You said when things need to get a lot worse.
Yes.
You said about the system crashing down. And you said about the benefits and everything. It's all going to have to collapse. Yeah.
Do you agree?
And that's the point. Yeah, I completely agree. I think. Look, I come from a very modest start in my life. My parents and everybody, they were all on benefits and that. I was never on benefit. I've never been on benefits. Me and my family, we've never been on benefits because I don't like the government looking into my life. But we need it. We need it all to be taken away from everybody. And I know that's going to hurt some people, but it's for the good. It's going to be for the good. And we've got to rally round. We've actually got to do what we can to help people out. You know. So at the end of the day,
here's the thing: when it goes tits up, if there's really honest, good people, right, that are generally sick, all right, and there are generally sick people, right. Not that I've got a bit of autism or I've got fucking this and that, because there are, Becky, man up, unfortunately, in certain cases, because this is what it's going to be. But people that are generally not so well, in the old days, what they used to do is the young couple went to work, right? And the nan and the granddad, who'd had the living fucking life rinsed out of them through hard work, stayed home and looked after the kids, right? That's why you used to see that the young'uns live with their parents, right, and had kids, and it was a family house. That's not ideal, and nobody likes living in each other's pockets. But say, for instance, my old man, who I fucking see very rarely, we're not close, right? If he said to me, he said, right, I'm without a place to stay, right, which he's not, right, and I've got nowhere to go. I go, right, come in. I'll look after you. But there's a deal. You have to pull your weight. Yes, I know you might be ill, right? He's not ill, by the way. I'm just making this up. Yeah, there's expectations. You don't get it for nothing, right? And all this stuff in time. But I'm poorly. I've done this. I've done that. I don't care. I've got to struggle to feed you. So you have to do your bit, right? So, and this is where the respect thing came in. The old people were weak, but they were to be obeyed, right? So I've got to go to work. When I come back, if I found out my kid's been disrespecting dad, then the kid gets it from me. But my old man also gets the right to be able to discipline as well. But in a society where we're going forward, we're going to have to learn how to do things in the old way, which is basically childcare. You know, this isn't going to get subsidized. Well, yeah, basically, I want the wife to stay home and look after it, but I haven't got a wife, unfortunately. But if I had kids, I'd want the wife to look after the kids. All right. I don't want some fucking carer who's got no no affiliation to my child, no maternal to that child. The best person to look after the child normally is their mum, moreover than the dad.
That's true.
Normally, right?
That's true. That's true.
My mother didn't work because my dad said, I'm not having any woman of mine work. My mum was like, fucking sorted. But the house was spotless. Literally, it was like a fucking show home. You couldn't play with your cars almost. It was like, you got to put that away? Mum, I've just got my toys out. Well, make sure you do. All right. But it was a fucking show home.
That was the deal.
Yeah. And I was so proud to bring people back there. We didn't have lots, but it was spotless. And my mates, some of them would come in and go, God, it's nice in here, isn't it? And there was always a chili con carne going. Listen, there was a queue at the back door of my mates that just so happened to come around about 5:30. No, there's a chili con carne going to get served. Right. And they come in and get fucking served it up. But that was the house. We will have to get back traditional methods back in. And
no, we do. We have to get. Listen, we've lost ourselves a bit. We've lost ourselves in consumerism. We've lost ourselves in. You know, actually, one of the main things that we've lost is the chivalry.
Yep. But there's a difference between chivalry and white knighting.
Oh yeah, obviously. White, but white knighting. That's the new. There's a new phrase for those type of people. There's an actual. No. This is the new one, and it's official. They're known as sneaky fuckers.
Go on.
And what they are, they're the sneaky fuckers. And these ones, what they are, they're the male feminists. The guys who are
you mean they're going to get a slight? They want to get a sly fuck by simping.
Yes.
Go on.
Yes.
Go on, son.
Yes. I hate them fuckers. And this is them. This is what they are. They're sneaky fuckers. And this is an official thing. It comes from a university over in the States. This is what they categorize these people now as. Sneaky fuckers. I got this from Tim Paul, funnily enough, and sneaky fuckers. And I was like, really? Oh, and it does make sense because I've come across these fellas in the past, the guys that tell you not to disrespect somebody, you know, when you're trying to chat some girl up in a nightclub when you were young, and it's like, hang on, mate, it's because you fancy her and you can't say it to her face. You're going to wait till she's drunk and then you're going to try it on with her. That's you know them guys.
Do you know what? I found it was better almost ignoring a bird, right? My technique to pulling a bird was actually fucking doing very little, right? You'd have all the mates that would go in there and they'd all be all over it and you'd show no interest at all. None, right?
Yeah.
And you carry on about your day and then she'd come over and start talking to you like, all right. You'd be friendly, but you weren't interested. And you say, look, to be honest, look, I'm not that fussed. I'll have the crack or whatever, but I'm really not that bothered. Fuck that. She wasn't having that. No way.
Exactly. Because if you chased around and too keen, you start off on the wrong foot anyway.
Fuck it, I'd still get pissed anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. In the old days, you knew you were going to get laid somehow anyway. So So it's like, I'm going out tonight to get drunk. And a girl will come up to you, well, all right, yeah, you can have a drink or whatever. But you carry on drinking. They were like, why is he not all over me? Well, because he's having a fucking pint. He's more interested in the beer to be fucking. You'll be your mate.
Exactly.
And then they're like, well, I want to. No, I'm not going to be. Not. It's all psychology, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's how I met my wife. I mean, I was pub management down in Bournemouth, and I saw this girl come into the pub one day. Like she looked pretty fit, and she went out for a fag. Now at the time, I wasn't a smoker, but I went out for a fag break just to see if I could see who she was. And I got chatting to her, and it turned out she was actually from about 4 miles down the road from where I'm from. She's from like Wembley direction.
All right, I've been through Wembley before.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, you're not missing much, are you? But it's like it's horrible down there. And we got chatting, and I got to know her. She actually started hanging around. Well, she started knocking about with some friends of mine and stuff and everything. I used to see her all the time. I used to chat to her in the pub.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her. I well liked her. But I just didn't try anything because like it was different. If she was out some old trollop, it'd be different, I suppose. But no, I didn't try nothing. And then one day she asked me out, and that was that's how it.
And here you are. Excellent.
And here I am, four kids down the road.
Fucking God, son. Good work. Well, you know.
Thank you very much.
So, what age are you now, roughly?
I'm I'm in my mid-40s, and I'm quite lucky because she's about 10 years younger than me. So
go
I did
on,
all right.
go on, son. Excellent. Well, fucking hats off to you, boy. Go on. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, I probably didn't realize when I was onto a good thing when I had my daughter, or I was with my daughter's mother.
Yeah. Yes.
And I walked away from her. And yes, she was very controlling. Yes, it could be hard work, but she was as loyal as you're ever going to get. Never looked at another person, kept a clean house, all the rest of it. But was very homely, didn't go out. I was quite a sociable creature at the time. And I wouldn't have been able to do this. If I was with her, she'd have been panicking about the worry about what if they come to the house, what if they do this. So, you know, things worked out. I have to say, if I'd have been in any relationship, I don't think I could have done this because too many people just shit themselves.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, do you remember? I mean, I remember. I've seen a lot with what happened to going back to Tommy. I saw a lot of what happened to Tommy and how his family felt the brunt of everything that came towards him, and I've seen that, and that's what I seen. What happened to him? That sort of curbed my enthusiasm a little bit into these areas, because I do have to worry about my missus, and I do have to worry about my kids. But then on the flip side of that, I've also reminded myself that, look, we've all got a duty to actually stand up. Because I mean, you look how the French and the Germans kicked off recently. Their farmers kicked off recently and got the EU to listen to them.
Just a quick one. I've got to say thank you to Daz, because the TV is over there and I'm looking at you over here, and Daz has gifted 50 and 20. I don't understand much about this. Years, so I'm assuming, Daz, that you've gifted 50 and 20. I don't know how this works. I've got to look into it a bit, but thank you very much for gifting. I hope you didn't want me to read out a comment, because that's gone, unfortunately, Daz, but thank you very much for your support. This is the problem with this fucking right. Actually, I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here, right? So that there, and I'm meant to be looking at, well, you were there where that camera is, right? At the moment, you could say I'm struggling a bit with this. Usually, everything would be here and I'd be watching the comments, but it's over there at the moment and the camera's there because of the green screen. But anyway, fucking hell. So I completely lost my plot of where I was. Do you want to bring me back to what we were talking about? But anyway, you've been with your missus, 4 kids. Yeah, been with the missus, 4 kids, worked out well, and all of that. I'm gonna get the next caller on, I'm gonna at some point wind this up, because I think I'm gonna have to reverse the updates on this so that I can do it on this, because at the time, you know, when you want to share news stories and stuff, I've got one fucking screen on that thing and I can't do it, and it's pissing me off. Anyway,
one last thing, Simon. I just want to say, it's a pleasure listening to you. It's an absolute pleasure, because you're not just down on everything. You are quite positive, because you have to read between the lines, because I know that what you're on, you have to watch what you say. But listen, it's a pleasure watching you. I'm really pleased that you do it. You're beginning to pick up again and do really well. So I'm really. It
does make you wonder why I'm picking up again, doesn't it? Because I was in the doghouse for so long. But there are Paz is picking up. I am. They're all the right wingers are starting to get somewhere now, and it makes you wonder why.
Because people are waking up, mate, and they're actually I think a lot of people are beginning to realise that actually that guy on the internet that they used to listen to, who they used to think was all right, but maybe a bit batshit crazy, was actually talking some sense. So anyway, I'll leave you with that, mate. All right?
No worries, bud. All right, buddy. No worries. You take it steady, and I'll say thanks. Cheers, bud. Bye. Right, yeah. So back to Daz. Thank you very much. Did you install the motherboard drivers after installing the Win? The bloke did. But we're actually looking at the motherboard's fucked, actually, from what I can gather. So that's nice. Hello.
Hello there, mate. I'm phoning up about the advert in the paper. You got a transit for sale?
Yeah,
Is this
right.
Kaz?
Yeah, I got a transit. It's got some fucking dodgy cunt living in the middle of it at the moment and water coming in on the roof. But other than that, it should be all right.
You're joking. It's got a fucking leak.
Well, what happens, right? I've put the skylight in myself. But you know the roof goes up and down, doesn't it, where the strengthening is? So the skylight fitted over the top of that, and there was packers there, right? And we put this sealant in, which lasts for about 2 years and then starts to crack, and then you've got to redo it every 2 years. Just what it is. But I haven't done it for a while. So we've had a bit of water coming in. But luckily, just underneath where the water comes in is a shower tray, so it goes straight back out.
Oh.
Anyway, I've got to get up there at some point. But I haven't had the time because of this and work. Take the fucking the panel out, clean it all up, get that Sikaflex, put it back down, and I'm away. But yeah. Anyway, how's it going?
I'm all right, mate. I'm just hoping you've got your guitar in there.
Somebody asked me what it was earlier on, and the guitar is a Tanglewood acoustic.
Yeah, I know.
But that doesn't mean much, does it? It's fucking there. Do you know the nightmare I'm having right now? Fucking hell. I mean, I'm surprised I am still going at the moment because, like, this is crashing, but differently. In fact, since before the update, right, the bloke stripped the computer. It was great. Before the update, no problem. It updated, and then we put Snapchat on it, right? Like Snapchat filters, so that we could do Phil Marshall fisting, and it all went wrong. And I've taken that Snapchat stuff off and all the rest of it, but the update's still on there, and I'm thinking that could have been the problem. And he did say he was going to have a look at making sure but it was my fault because he was supposed to come round, and I haven't got round to him to come round to stop it updating, and it's updated. And since it's updated, it's been an absolute weapon. So before, you would have the screens in front of you, right? And you'd be able to look at everything. You see the comments, you'd be able to add to stuff, and I can't do it at the moment. It's just fucking cunt. However, such is life.
Well, you're still doing well, bro. You're still doing good.
It's all right, but I like to engage with the chat, and I can watch the chat coming up there, but off over there, and it's small. But never mind, we're still doing it, and we got 1,200 people still watching us, and it's fuck me, it's 11:15.
I know you've been on it for ages, mate.
I've been on it all right.
Listen, I'm going to let you go, bro, and I'll phone you in a couple of weeks or whatever.
No worries. Well, look, we'll probably do what they call it tomorrow, the Sunday sermon, and
yeah, I know you do. Yeah.
All right, mate.
Yeah. All the best, bro.
Right, take it steady. See you in a bit, mate. So, does anybody want me to do a Sunday sermon tomorrow? No, it's not ringing. My God, we've had a bit of a break. Right, let's go back to having a look in here, see if there's any new people. Hi, Simon, looking good. Really? Oof. Okay, right. Right, so we got one for the sermon. Now, I doff my cap. Hello.
Hello, Si.
How you doing?
Long time no hear or see, my friend.
No worries. Is that the live stream in the background? Do you want to just turn that off a sec?
Yeah, I'll turn it down. Yeah, I'll dial it down, yeah.
No worries.
I've got that. Yeah, we haven't spoken for a long time, my friend. The last time I spoke to you, you was a little bit down in the dumps, but I'm fucking glad to see you.
It does happen, doesn't it? You know
looking
what I mean?
good. You probably don't remember me. Fuck me. Remember the last time that you with Tommy and some fucking numpty tried to post that, and I saw some fella in a green jacket go out and sort of politely, fashionably put your fucking foot in him or something like that. Anyway,
allegedly, lots of allegedly thrown in there. Yeah.
So that was like the last time I actually saw you. We've had a chat on Discord.
5 or 6 years ago, that would have been. Wasn't that about 5 or 6 years ago? I got to be honest. I look back at them as the good old days.
Yeah, and I just think, do you know what? Because like I said, I used to speak to you on Discord and stuff, and used to have a laugh, didn't we? And we all take the fucking piss out of each other. And it was good times. But I mean, reflecting tonight on some of the calls and some people's sort of like, sort of fucking disappointment being an understatement. In terms of the geographics of this country, if you want to say it like that. I was listening to you when you was in the cab about, I don't know, 5 days ago.
Mm.
There's something that you touched on. It was just, I thought, fucking yes, he's back. Do you know what I mean? No fucking about. But just, you know.
I was being polite in the old days,
just,
and it didn't work, right?
Yeah.
When I first started, I used to shout and rave, and fucking people went, yeah, I can get that, right? And then I went all polite, thinking I might lose the channel, right? And it wasn't working. It wasn't resonating with anybody. So in the end, I went, do you know what? Fuck this shit. And went back to being a cunt, right? Now, since I've been back to being full strength, it's like you lose the channel, whatever, I'll get another. So, you know, that's how it is. But since I've done that, people go, yeah, I agree with that. And that's how, you know, we've built something. But just say it as it is. Because if you can't say it as, you fucked. Now, I can say stuff in my cab or on here when I do a video, and you all know what I mean.
Yeah.
But when people ring in, they don't know how to say stuff without saying it, but still saying it. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
And it can be a bit of a problem because you're like, oh, you're gonna fucking lose me your channel. There's 101 ways of saying about certain ways. I like it is another way of putting it, right? 4 years ago, my DNA
trying to be a little bit PC.
4 years ago, my DNA was normal, but whatever. I took some advice and things are different. You all know what I'm talking about, right? You know.
Yeah.
1960s, walking down the high street. Fuck me, it looked different in the UK, but now, well, you wouldn't recognize it. You all know what I've said by saying that, and I've said nothing that will get me in trouble.
No, you're saying it exactly how the fuck it is. Yeah? I mean, what's the point? Listen, fucking hell. What is the point, of trying to be PC when the other side, is being fucking far from it?
Yeah, they can get away with murder. We can't because they're protected. We're fucked.
Yeah, the thing, what I don't understand is, I spent like over just about a year tab short of about 15 fucking years serving this pissant country, what I loved at one point, loved to death, die for it, not a problem, that's what the job description kind of is, But do you know what? I was listening to that fellow that was on a couple of calls back, the one that was in his like mid-40s, and he's from North London or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's around there. Right, so I've served, and I ended up getting fucking minute C5 or C6 in about a minute, fucking broke, told to walk that off. And multiple other injuries. So I come out, I get to work, Big Phil, who I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
Yep, I keep in contact with him. Last time I spoke to him, he was in Spain. He goes, fucking great. He says, I'm in this fucking cottagey thing. I'm right on the top of a mountain with my back against, you know what I mean? And he said, it's just fucking brilliant because the COVID thing.
This weather's not good for your back, is it? Not me. I mean, you need to be in a dry country, really.
Yeah, I think the fucking dry is the last of our fucking problems at the moment, isn't it? I mean, really, I could touch on so many things in terms of like the two-tier system with the fucking gabbers.
Yeah, right. Would you remember the old days where we used to be up there? We'd be up there on the protest and they'd be coming in fucking trying to iron us out and we weren't doing fuck all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. On the last one, we went up there and Tommy jumped in that fucking sherbet at the cab, and then got on his feet because Dave is right, man. Dave Inman's? No. Anyway,
Richard, you mean Richard Inman?
Yeah, so that was that remembrance thing. There's no way, Now I'm an ex-squaddy, right? Okay, and I've spent a lot of time, overseas, and basically getting served up lead for fucking 38 grand a fucking year.
Cheers. Yeah.
And that's a sergeant's salary.
Can I ask you a question, right? Going back to what you were saying. Now you feel different about this country now because it was led by idiots, right? The leadership of this country was wrong. It was corrupt. Can you imagine if we'd have had a decent and honest leadership where the only time you'd have gone into conflict was to actually defend people as they should have been defended, right? So you weren't guarding somebody's financial interests. You weren't protecting a well, all that sort of shit. We weren't led into political wars that we had no business in. if that hadn't have been the case and you'd gone into the army and you'd actually done what the army's really set up for, would you have had a different view of the country?
Good question. I guess so. I mean, because in terms of like Operation Talak, which to the people who are not in the know is Iraq, and then you got Herrick, which is Afghan. I mean, the WMD thing, fucked me sideways, mate. I mean,
you couldn't find a fuck all. Do you remember the bloke that came back and said there are none?
The cupboards were bare, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember the bloke that said there are none? All of a sudden he committed suicide. That was convenient. Remember Robin Cook?
About squaring away the evidence, yeah?
Yeah, Robin Cook. You go ahead with this, I'm resigning. They went, well, we're going to do it. And went, fucking, I'm resigning. And then shortly he fucking died up a fucking hill.
I'll tell you what, yeah. Like I said, you went quiet for a bit on here, flipping from one thing to the other. But I think it's all incorporated.
I did slow down for a while because I was getting nowhere. I was getting like 1,000 views or less than that. And I was thinking, I'm so far in the doghouse now. I thought I'll give it a break for a while, see if that makes a difference. But then I just started shouting and screaming again and went, yeah, fuck it. And that seems to have worked. So,
you know what? Whatever it is you're doing, it's working. And again, I want to reiterate, it's good to, I sent you a text message. You're probably busy doing all this, and I understand. But, it's good to see you back. And like I said, whatever it is you're doing, it's fucking working, mate. And I think, like I say, people are listening. Trouble is, we're having up there is unity. I mean, I'm not going to go into the T word, yeah, but, that's just one man, yeah. There's others like yourself, very strong values. You work hard, in the cabs all the time. And when you showed me that bit on there with the marshland, I was thinking, how the fuck did you go through that? I wouldn't even go through that as a challenger, mate. I mean,
mate, you've got to get through it. But even our boss eventually has gone, you ain't going there again. And I'm like, well, thank fuck for that, because it was just breaking. How the fuck do you get through it without destroying the truck? You know what I mean? But we had to do it 6 times a day.
Amphibious, didn't you?
Well,
you didn't say amphibious for that. I mean, I'm not being funny, mate, but that looked like, I don't know, when you just pan the camera around, I was thinking, he can't be fucking serious going through his and it was like, it looked like a fucking peat bog. I mean, really?
Well, it's just, what it was basically a swamp we've built up. So what you do is you tip, build up, and then they blade it in, and then slowly but surely you weren't expected to drive, but it was that deep. Like, you know what I mean? It was like fucking some of it. You were scraping
your axles, mate.
It was just brutal. It's like, fuck this. I ain't never going to get through this shit.
I mean, I personally, I wouldn't go through there with a fucking amphibious armed personnel carrier. I mean, it looked the kind of thing where you're going to be dead in the fucking, just quicksand. And you just sat there, and I was thinking, hold on a minute, if it's a bit like that, if he sits there for too long, he's going to be find himself sitting there for quite a while, and hopefully you got enough fuel in there so your fucking battery's asked. You know what I mean?
It's quite funny, because what happens is, as you get a tip, the truck starts to lean over. You're like, fuck. Here we go.
Fucking yeah. And you're trying to keep your fucking feet on the fucking pedals, whatever, and you're trying to lean the other side. Not that it's going to make any difference.
Yeah, I'm going to be counterbalanced.
Lunch over there.
Yeah, you know what? Your asshole holds you to the seat. So if you did go over, you wouldn't need a seatbelt anyway. But yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
I'll tell you what, fucking fair play to you, mate. And going quickly back to what that fella said in terms of like benefits, yeah. Now, I went my fucking arse off. I went to school. I got a scholarship at school. My dad was a fucking wife-beating Irish twit. Yeah. And my family's Irish, is from Southern Ireland. I was born over here. But do you know what? Yeah, what I saw from an early kid, if I didn't come back with good grades, mate, I was getting more than a warm here. Let's put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So basically, going back to, where I was trying to get in terms of benefiting, I've worked and literally had a job up until the 17th of 2011 or something like that. Well, I was going to work for a company called Concept Security. place in Brighton, and you know, I met him for a friend who's got a limo company. And I was like, he said, look, you know, I told him a bit about what I've done and, you know, stuff like that. Ended up with £3. And he said, fucking great. You know, John, one of the fellas at work there, he said, he's in there. So I said, look, before we start, I'm not doing any humping, which means basically, you know, going cross country or whatever. I'm not going into fucking, like, on the border of Syria or anything fucking like that. Not because I'm shocked. This is that kind of age where, you know, not fast enough, but, you know, you have to be tip-top fit, and I wasn't at that point. It's like, in terms of, like, my awareness and like reaction speeds and stuff like that, and it's spot on for like post protection. So yeah, it ended up being in Dubai. Yeah, so a good little 8-month deployment.
Didn't a load of people get sent out of Dubai as fucking bullet catchers for private, like important people?
Yeah, so my ex-missus was used to fly around with the Saudi fucking defence minister. I should be saying this, but I'm not with her now, so who gives a fuck? But yeah, she used to fly around him, and he had it boxed off for himself, and he had like I think it was eight of them, so he had two shifts of 4. She was doing that for a while. So I was there, and suddenly I was getting these back pains down by my right side. Yeah. And I just thought, so I went in and had an X-ray, and doctor turned around and he goes, basically, you're full of shit. And I kind of got the joke, real quick. Yeah, basically, I was constipated. So
been there, done that. Fucking hell, badly.
It's not good. It was piling up. So basically, they gave me one of them little squirty things up to line my side, and none too pleasant. But so I left it as that. Didn't feel so bad. And I was listening to some music one night, and my brother was sitting there, fucking playing Assassin's Creed or watching it. And I'm listening to some music, and I just turn over from my left side and go over to my right side, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I got bang, this pain hit me, and I'm telling you, people going like, this pain was so fucking bad. It felt like I had not that I've ever felt a hot poking, glowing knife, and I haven't either myself, and I don't want to. But the pain outside the body, so lacerations, bullet holes, even bits of frag, I can fucking deal with that because I know what it takes to achieve to getting the pain away and stuff like that. But when it comes to internal stuff, organs, brother, I thought I'd experienced like fucking tactical interrogation, basically someone trying to fucking blow me up and shoot me or whatever. Broken bones, I could be here all night, but I'm not going to be selfish. But that's something, sort of an opioid or morphine, 10 mil morphine jab intramuscular can deal with until you can get medevac the fuck out of there.
Just a quickie. Do you want to join me on Discord? We'll talk about this there because I'm going to finish up now. We'll go over to Discord. We can all have a crack in there.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I fucking downloaded it before. Do you remember when I spoke to you before? And I think it was under like Roger fucking Melia or something like that. I am there, didn't you, brother?
Right, well, get yourself fucking sorted. The link's in the description. Get sorted. I'll post it again. I'm going to go over there now.
Do me a favour because I'm watching it on the fucking through the fucking phone to the TV. So if you get time, I know you're fucking busy.
I can't get it to this phone, right? Because this phone's not connected to me, the Discord, right? Because this is just my.
No, but can you send me just the link to? I'll send you a text. Can you just send me a
not to this phone? I can't. Maybe if you send it to Facebook or something, I could. You on my Facebook?
No,
right. Listen, you've got YouTube on your phone. Go back to the live stream, right? Click on the fucking chat, and the link will be there. Otherwise, go into one of my videos, all right, and the link will be in there, all right.
All right. So listen, it's good to talk to you, fella, and you know what? I'll speak to you in the Discord.
All right, I'll catch you in there shortly. All right.
All right. Take care, brother.
Right, so I'm thinking, I'm going to pull that down now. Right, I'm thinking we'll go over to Discord, we'll have a chat there, which will take a bit of stress off. I can go for a piss, and end on a good note, all the rest of it. So the link is in the description. Fuck me, or it should be. There we go. Oh, we got another call. All right, just a quick one. Hello. This will give you time to say.
Hello, is that you, Simon?
Yes.
Hiya, it's Leslie.
How you doing?
You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I've only rung it up just to tell you you're doing a fantastic job. I listen to you all the time. And everything that's going on in this country, it's just absolutely shit, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, I can't argue with you there. Yeah, it's pretty fucking bollocks.
But it just seems to be getting worse all the time, isn't it?
It's meant to, love.
It's just something's coming out new every single day.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the expression acceleration? Or moreover, an accelerationist?
Yeah.
Right. So when I say I'm an acceleration, you know why I'm an acceleration. Oh, Jesus, that alcohol's cutting in. Accelerationist. Basically,
yeah.
If we can speed things up now, people will notice it. But if it happens slowly, they won't. And when they don't notice it, we're fucked, because by the time they do eventually wake up, it'll be too far gone.
Do you know what? It's they're too busy fucking snoring.
Well, let some
and
fucker else deal with it. Not my problem. That's where we are, isn't it?
Yeah, but you get people. See, I've got to be careful what I say here, because I don't want to say your channel down. And believe me, if I said what I wanted to say, your channel would be gone in 2 minutes.
So that's not
2 minutes,
especially after what's his name just gifted 50 gifts to. I don't know how this works, by the way. I really don't. I've got to look into it. But apparently, it's a thing. It's a massive thing what he's done. So thank you ever so much. I have no idea, by the way. But I haven't got a clue. But yeah, after he's put all of that into it, best not fuck it up. However,
no,
we all know anyway what you better say, or something like that. A lot of people watching this are all sat there going, we know about the, and we hate the fact that we can't finish our sentence. In fact, what is it they say?
You know what? I had a friend come round the other day, and I won't say too much. I know she doesn't watch any of this what I watch anyway. She had this, you know what?
Right.
And she had a few of them, and she was on about somebody that was very poorly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember now exactly what she said that was wrong with this fella. And I said, well, let's put it this way. I turned around and said, well, you know how I feel about you know what?
Yeah.
The V. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you should have seen her face was a picture. She couldn't say anything, but she never said anything to me. And I thought, well, I hope you do say something, because you just want to sort of like shake them, but you can't, can you? I don't know.
You could take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? Something like that. It's the worst thing in the world, knowing stuff before somebody else does, and you can't get them to listen to you or understand. And when you look at history now, you see a lot of people that knew stuff before everybody else, and you see them ridiculed, and you think, yeah, I can't know that feeling. But you've just got to be there to pick up the pieces when these people wake up, mate. But it's not.
I'm really crapping it really now, because like I've only got a little family, Simon, and it's only like there's only a few of us. Do you know? Fucking hell.
Love, I've got to be honest with you. I'm pretty much on my own. I've got me and my daughter, and that's it. I mean, my sister says hello occasionally, and I say hello back. My dad says hello occasionally, and that's it. So
yeah,
I know how it feels, mate.
But if anything happened to them, because I know they've had that.
Yeah.
And I was arguing with my brother, and I've been arguing with the two of my brothers when it first come out, because I'm not being funny, but I got onto it straight away. Straight away, I was no, definitely not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was arguing with them. He was just like giving me loads of shit, saying, you know, you're mental. There's something wrong with you for saying all this. And, you know, I said, well, you do what you want to do. There's nothing I could do about it. But I was really upset. And I was thinking, if it happens to them after that, and I've warned them, do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. Why don't you come over to Discord and chat with us, love? Because at the moment, there's about 30 people in there waiting to chat, maybe more. And we can talk more.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, listen, you take care of yourself, mate. And what before I go, why don't you get on with Sheep Farm? Because you'd make a brilliant, you and is it Paz, your friend?
Yeah.
Paz.
We get on fine.
With Sheep Farm because it'd be a really, really good listen.
I don't know send me a link to that because I don't know who it is you're talking about.
Sheep Farm, you never heard of them? They're absolutely brilliant lads. I listen to them all the time.
Let me tell you, the more you get subscribers, the more you have to interact with people, the less you get to watch other content and other YouTube creators. It's a nightmare. When I first started, I get to watch all of these other people's videos. And it was great. You don't get the time now. It's a pain in the ass because you want to watch new content creators or even older content creators you haven't seen, but it's just like
they're not new. They're not new. They've been going for quite a while, but they're really, really good. You love them. They're really, really
imagine
good.
Every day
get on with them.
I get sent 1,000 hours worth of content to watch. I can't do it. So I've either got to look at what it says underneath in the description, which is the best way to get me to watch something, put a brief description underneath. But yeah, you just see all these videos. You're like, oh, the fuck, which one do I pick? It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I can't send you anything because I'm not on the computer anymore. I've got rid of Facebook and everything. Do you know what I mean? I'm not interested in anything like that. So if anyone, well, obviously people are listening, but somebody who's listening out there, send them a link to Sheep Farm.
Okay.
And, you know, get on with them because that would be a fantastic listen.
Right. No worries. Well, look, I'm going to get off and I'm going to go over to Discord because we're all waiting in there now. Right.
Oh, you take care of yourself.
All right, lovely. You take it steady. All right.
All right, love.
All right.
Take care. Bye, love.
See you in a bit, love. Bye. Right. That's it. Let's get off of the banners and stuff. I am. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Dave Green, who was last night. Anyway, I'm going over to Discord now. So I'll put the link in there one last time. Right. I'll see you over there. They're all in there already having a chat. So, I'm going to say thank you for everybody who's put up with me tonight and come on. And thanks to the generosity the gentleman who gifted all those things so that everyone could become a member. I think that's what's happened. I shall do, because I've not drunk that much, amazeballs, I will do a Sunday sermon. Don't know how that'll go. Probably be on this thing because this thing's fucked. And I'll see you then. Anyway, I'm going to go over there and let me air down a bit. So I'll see you in a bit. Thanks a lot.